From Whitterfield in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, Rockford Rivets baseball is live as the Rivets once again look to snap a long 7-game losing streak against the pod best Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast. Alongside Adam Cohen, I'm Larry Larson. And Adam, it's been a long last week's worth of games for the Rockford Rivets, but they keep coming to the ballpark every day with more and more energy. Could today be the day?
Perhaps it can. They are facing a really good team, and a lot of problems are still facing them hitting-wise, not a lot of extra base hits pitching-wise, a lot of walks fielding-wise. They've had errors in each of their 7 games, but slowly but surely they've started to come together as a team and look better.
The Rivets enter this one with an overall record of 14-22, just a half game behind Green Bay for the second playoff spot in the Wisconsin-Illinois East. As for the Rafters, it's always a tongue twister, Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. They enter this one with a league best 29-10. On a 5-game win streak, they've clinched their spot in the playoffs and home field advantage for at least the first game. Adam caught up with new Rivets manager JT Scara before the game. Let's hear what he had to say on the Rockford Rivets pregame show.
Just expect it to be very competitive.
Thank you for your time, JT.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Adam Cohen alongside manager JT Scara right before game time. JT, your team is currently riding a 7-game losing streak. How are you guys looking to change things around?
We gotta be a little bit more consistent with some things we do. The pitchers have done fairly well, but even moments of throwing 4 balls in a row, 7 balls in a row. Last night, for an example, they didn't really tee off on Lowry, but he got himself into some trouble. So pitching-wise, we got to try to be just a tad bit more consistent with pounding that strike zone. And, defensively, we got to get back to how we were the first 2 or 3 games of the season where we got to stop making errors and letting the other team have extra outs. But the kids are competing. I like the way we're swinging. We've hit a lot of balls hard right at people, but I think if we can clean up the defense a little bit and our pitchers continue to do as well, if not better as we have, we should be right there.
It does seem to me the main struggles, defense and allowing a lot of walks, but it seems like your defense is improving. They had just a couple errors in the last 2 nights. Do you think they'll have a clean game tonight?
Well, I hope so. And that they're working hard. I mean, we got 10, 15 minutes in of early work before we hit batting practice of the ground balls, and I think the pressure situations. It's not the amount of errors we've been making. It's kind of standard for this level, but it's when we're making them. And we've made them in a couple crucial situations with some guys on base. Might have been the 3rd out of an inning, instead 2-run score on a bad throw or a booted ground ball. So, if we could just stay steady and not let our emotions get the best of us in some of these bigger situations, I think the defense will be fine.
You also mentioned how this is a team that has really put the ball hard into play, and it seems like a really good contact team. Do you think the balls will start dropping, and that some good fortune will come along the way?
We'd like to think that. Everybody's keeps saying it's only a matter of time, and I really hope so. There's not a lot I would change with I'm happy with the contact we've made. I think sometimes our approaches can get better. We've had probably too many quick innings, but the Matt Schmidt had a meeting yesterday, reiterated it again today. We got to stay away from the quick innings. Even going back to the last series, I think we had one of their starters on the ropes early in the game, and then all of a sudden we'd let him settle in because he had a couple 9 and 10 pitch innings, and now all of a sudden you had a guy in trouble in the 1st inning, and you look up on the scoreboard and he's still pitching in the 6th. So if we could just be a little bit more selective, not in terms of chasing, but just understanding and trying to teach these young players how to work a game and try to get into the bullpen and extend certain innings, and so that's something we've been preaching, and we'll find out at game time if they can execute it or not.
Have you tried working around with the lineup? There's been a couple of different lineup changes from day to day, or is that more just trying to mix and match with these new players that you have?
It is, with having so many new players, we probably have too many position players right now for a roster. So trying to make sure everybody gets in, everybody's working hard, and game time situations, if we can make a defensive substitution or a pinch hit, depending on who's in the starting lineup that day. But that's kind of why the lineup has fluctuated a lot. Just trying to make sure all these kids get playing time.
And speaking of mixing and matching with the bullpen, you don't have too many arms to work with. So how do you decide which ones to put in and how many days rest do you usually give? What's your thought process?
Well, we talked to them. Everybody was thrown into the fire here with this situation of us and almost an entire new team except one guy. So we kind of used the first week to kind of see what we had, but we have had a couple more pitchers join us, so we have a little bit more than we had last week, and we're kind of going with the idea of when you come in, your job is to get 3 outs, and if you're cruising, I'll decide if I want to send you back out there. But that way we can keep the guys fresh, hopefully not throwing too many pitches, and be able to use the rules of the league, which is meant to protect the kid's arm. So if we got to throw a guy back-to-back days, that's good. Ideally, probably be having a guy throw an inning every other day right now. But again, we're just going to kind of play it by ear and with what matchups we see.
Tonight you have starter Tyler Venditti coming out on the mound. He last appeared against Fond du Lac in relief. What do you expect from him tonight? How long do you expect him to go?
Like what we just talked about with the relievers, a couple of these kids have been planning to start this season, which obviously their collegiate season was canceled. So Venditti's was going to be a sophomore over for Wabanzi and be a starting pitcher for them. And, not everybody's built up to 75 to 100 pitches like they should be this time of year. So what I've pretty much told the starters a couple days ago is, I need 9 outs from you. So, and if they're cruising, I'll send you back out. And then we'll let the bullpen kind of take it over inning by inning from there. So, but he's a very competitive kid. He's a very high energy kid. I think he was a little overexcited his first outing, so hopefully he's got those first outing jitters out of the way, and I just expect it to be very competitive.
Thank you for your time, JT.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to Witter Field, historic Witter Field in downtown Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. It's a beautiful evening for baseball as the Rivets get set to take on the Rafters. And Adam, had that nice chat with JT Scarrow, Rivets manager. What's the feel like down there in the dugout? The team is riding a 7-game losing skid, but still very much in the heat of things.
Scarrow didn't seem too concerned with the team, although they've come out of the gate a bit tough. They also have arrived with tough circumstances, and he believes in the hitters. He was actually talking to hitting coach Matt Schmidt, and they had a team meeting with the players to be more patient at the plate, which makes sense considering they average less than 2 walks per game. As for the pitchers, he wants them to walk less batters, and that can prove useful as they average nearly 6 walks per game. So if both of those ways can help out the Rivets tonight, that should certainly work, and the defense has been looking a little better, and he's hoping that they can finally play a clean game in tonight's ball game as well.
Rivets have certainly struggled with errors, 18 in their last 7 games, Adam, and that's probably a big part in the reason why the Rivets have lost 7 straight. It's about time for the national anthem here at Witter Field. Of course, we'll have a first pitch beforehand. Let's give a quick look at the starting pitching matchup. It'll be Tyler Venditti, the right-hander, going for Rockford, making his first start in a Rivets uniform. As for the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters, they've got another righty, Nathan Hemmerling out of Lakeland University. He's a California native. He's been pretty solid, a big strikeout pitcher. Now it's time for the national anthem here in Wisconsin. We'll take a short break and be right back. First pitch coming up between the Rivets and Rafters on Rockford Rivets Radio. Welcome back to Witter Field, just moments away from first pitch. Here's how JT Scara, Rivets manager, turns in his lineup card tonight. Jackson Dvorak in the top spot. The senior from Lewis will play first base. Batting second and DHing this evening, Bradley Vondruska. Batting third and playing center field, Colton Klein, the junior from Carthage. Phil Highland bats cleanup. The Rockford Regent will play third base. Cherokee LeBeau bats fifth and plays second base. Brian Sturdivant, the UW Whitewater Warhawk, plays left field. Sam Vomhoff bats seventh, also from UW Whitewater. He'll play shortstop. Hunter Olson, the catcher, bats eighth. And Simon Dembeck, the freshman from Milwaukee Area Technical College, bats ninth. The Rivets will square off against the right-handed pitcher Nathan Hemmerling, who has been very good in 14 innings of work. He's been out of the bullpen predominantly, starting as of late. He pitched 3 innings in his last start against Fond du Lac. And over 14 1/3 innings pitched this year, he's struck out 19 batters.
Larry, as you mentioned, he is a strikeout artist. And these new Rivets have had some interesting luck with strikeouts. Overall, they average 8 strikeouts per game. But in the last 2, they've averaged just 5. So perhaps they will get more contact against him. He does give up a decent amount of walks, so perhaps be a bit more patient as we are just about to get things underway.
A beautiful, sunny 84-degree sky overhead Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids. The lights not yet on, shadows overtaking the field just past the mound. And on the field, we have a brief delay as the base bags cannot get plugged into the ground, as the plugs in the infield dirt are filled up. So now you've got a few grounds crew members out there with a spoon tool digging dirt out of the plugs. So Jackson Dvorak is walking around home plate, patiently waiting. The Wisconsin Rapids Rafters tonight in their home white uniforms with black trousers, black sleeves, cranberry red numbers, and white and black paneled caps with a red brim. As for the Rockford Rivets, they're in their dark road grays, gold piping, gold numbers, and gold lettering with Rockford across the front. Still having grounds crew difficulties, as third base seems to be the problem at the moment. Got 4 people huddled around the bag, including third base umpire Roberto Pattison. Looking like he's trying to get things figured out with Wisconsin Rapids third baseman Christian Sepulveda and Rivets third base coach Matt Schmidt. While we have a moment, let's go over the Wisconsin Rapids starting lineup. Richie Sheekoffer bats leadoff and will play center fielder. He has been the leadoff man the past 2 seasons in Rapids. Jason DeCochea has been a nice pickup, and he will bat second, relatively new to this Rapids lineup. Ryan Wallstad bats third from Sacramento State. Andy Garriola, the redshirt sophomore from Old Dominion, will bat cleanup. Hank Zeisler bats fifth, the DH from Chapman University. Christian Sepulveda bats sixth from UT Rio Grande Valley. Kyle Teal, the outstanding high school senior, does the catching and will bat seventh. Jacob Hinderleiter bats eighth, and Austin Krizik bats ninth.
Larry, the Rafters have a very stacked lineup as usual. Everyone has power potential, and even though the wind is blowing in today, you can still surely hit the ball off the ballpark, as they've done so many times this season. One of the most potent offenses in the league.
Certainly is, Adam, and looking at the season series, as of late, it's been dominated by Wisconsin Rapids, who have won 3 games in a row versus the Screws, including last night. They took a 10-0 victory over Rockford. It was a rough one. The Rivets have allowed double-digit runs in 4 of their last 7 games. So pitching has been a problem. And you mentioned this offense, not to mention the pitching staff for Wisconsin Rapids, which comes in tonight with a 2.96 ERA, which is tops in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod.
Larry, when you're facing a team like the Rafters, you can't give them anything. Meaning on the pitching side of things, you have to locate, and you can't miss either, or else these hitters will hit it out of the ballpark. In the batter spots, you can't swing the first pitch. Manager JT Scara mentioned how they had a lot of 9 to 10 pitch innings. Can't do that today. You got to really draw out the pitch count and be selective hitting. Just try to choose one that you like and find some ground, which is what these new Screws have had trouble with.
They certainly have, Adam, striking out a lot, not walking much. And looking at today's lineup, JT's going with less power but more contact, putting Dvorak in the top spot. He's usually lower in the order. Colton Klein slides down to third, as a lot of the big power bats are out of the lineup, including Sam Beers and Jake Kleekamp. So a bit of a shorter order for JT today.
Well, against a team like this in pitching, someone as good as Nathan Hemmerling might be more difficult for all-or-nothing hitters who usually can get one out of the ballpark or get extra base hits, might not be able to against this type of pitcher. So instead, they're opting for contact, which is what they need. And when you put the ball in play, obviously good things happen. So it's a bit telling why JT Scara is going with this route.
Rivets and Rafters about to get underway, but we're still working on the base bags, as the umpires and the grounds crew have had trouble getting first and third base in the ground today. First pitch was scheduled for 6:35, but here we are running about 6 minutes behind schedule. Looks like we may be ready for baseball as a grounds crew member runs back to the Rapids dugout. The umpires take their positions. And it is time to play baseball. Finally, Jackson Dvorak, the leadoff man for Rockford, the senior from Lewis, steps in the right-handed batter's box, but beforehand tightens the batting gloves and takes a few practice hacks. Last night, Jackson was 1 for 3. He's got hits in back-to-back games, something that has been a struggle for Rockford. Hemmerling steps on the rubber, winds and fires the first pitch to Dvorak, and he pops it up on the infield. To second base, Jason DeCochea calls everybody off and makes the catch above his head. It's 1 pitch, 1 out for Nathan Hemmerling here in the top half of the first.
Larry, that's exactly what we described in a pregame and exactly what the Screws are not looking for. Quick outs, and that's what they saw way too often against the Woodshots, and hopefully does not carry further into tonight against the Rafters.
So here's the number 2 hitter, Bradley Vondruska, the sophomore from Milwaukee Area Technical College. It's tonight's DH. Did not participate in last night's 10-0 smothering. Here's the first pitch. Misses low and away on a fastball from Hemmerling. Hemmerling standing at 6'2", 205, working from the windup with no runners on base, just getting underway. Scoreless in the top half of the first. The 1-0 misses outside, and it's 2-0 on Vondruska.
Vondruska does have power, one of 3 Rivets hitters with an extra base hit this season.
Here's the 2-0. Fastball finds the zone that time, just on the outer black. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Hemmerling not wasting any time. Gets the ball back, steps right back on the rubber, has his sign, fires the 2-1. Fastball right in the same spot for a called strike. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Talk about having good mound presence. He is ready to go, already on the rubber, making Vondruska wait on him.
Bradley steps out of the box, takes his time. Now he's back in there, ready for the 2-2 pitch. Fastball check, swing. Did he go? No swing. And the appeal goes down to the first base umpire, Justin Hopkins, who says that Vondruska did not go around. So now the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Vondruska, the 5'11" hitter, swings and misses at the payoff pitch. It was a changeup on the outer half and a very awkward swing from Vondruska as the second out of the first inning.
Larry, that was a defensive swing. Vondruska was trying to take the whole way or trying to see it close enough, and it turns out it was for a strike. He just swung too late.
Here's the first pitch to Colton Klein, one of 2 lefties in the Rockford order. He takes outside on the outside edge. It's a called strike. Last night, Colton was 1 for 3. Has his back foot on the back line of the batter's box, and he takes a fastball inside. That's the first ball, 1-1 on the Rockford center fielder. Klein has 5 hits, but just a .217 batting average. Here's the 1-1 from Hemmerling. Fastball misses low, and it's 2-1.
Klein can work the count. He's been in the leadoff role before, but can also hit to all fields with some deep power.
Taps the plate twice. Stares out for the 2-1. Here it is. It's skied into center field. It's going to drop fast. Coming in is Schieckhofer, and it drops in front of him. And it's a 2-out single for Colton Klein.
Well, a nice 2-out base hit from Colton Klein. Got a bit jammed, but still poked it out into center field. A lot of hits didn't drop for the Rivets in the Woodshot series, but hopefully tonight that is turning around.
Klein, a good athlete on first base, has good speed, but we likely won't see him go. So now there's a runner on with 2 outs for Phil Highland, tonight's third baseman from Rockford University. 0-0 ball game in the first inning. Here's the first pitch to Highland. Fastball for a called strike on the outer half, and it's 0-1. Last night, Highland pinch hit and had no hits. He went 0 for 1. Hemmerling sets and steps off and throws to check on Klein, who's back safely. Was not particularly close.
Highland usually finds himself lower or even a number 2 spot in the order. Tonight in the cleanup role is up there in terms of batting average for the team, 286.
Here's the 0-1 Highland, swing and a miss. Hemmerling going back to the fastball there. And he's quickly ahead on Highland.
He's had a really nice fastball changeup miss. Really mixing and matching speeds too.
See what he goes with here on 0-2. Hemmerling sets above the belt and delivers the 0-2 pitch. Fastball just misses off the outer black. Kyle Teal tried to frame it up, but instead it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Talk about those framing skills. He's only a high school senior, but he's framing like a bona fide collegiate athlete.
Highland looking for his first hit in his last 3 games. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's a drop third strike. Kyle Teal throws on to first base. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. Hemmerling strikes out 2 and works around a 2-out single by Colton Klein. And it's Rivets nothing. Rafters coming up after this on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to Wisconsin Rapids. Scoreless ball game between the Rockford Rivets and the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. Headed to the bottom half of the first. Tyler Venditti will face Richie Schieckhofer, Jason Decochea, and Ryan Wallstad. To start off his day, Venditti, the right-handed pitcher out of Waubonsie Community College. He's a sophomore there. Stands at 6'2", 215. He's got 1 appearance this year, and it came last Saturday at Fond du Lac. He went 2 innings and allowed 3 earned runs.
As mentioned in the interview with manager JT Sciarra, he's hoping to at least get 9 outs for him. And if he's cruising along, then he could go extra. Could be another long bullpen day, but he's hoping to get as much out of Venditti as possible.
JT said that just about everybody's available out of the bullpen, so we'll see how many arms that the Rivets have to go with today. Venditti working from the stretch to the left-hander Schieckhofer, who takes a ball outside on a fastball. And it's 1-0 on the Rutgers redshirt sophomore. Last night, he was just 0 for 4 with a walk and a run. He takes another fastball outside, and it's 2-0.
Schieckhofer's a pretty good leadoff hitter. 15 walks this season, 370 on base percentage as well.
Reason why he's batting leadoff, the 2-0 is slapped the other way, well foul, tailing out of the stadium. And it's 2-1 now.
He's pretty much been the leadoff hitter all season long and played in 38 out of 39 games this season for the Rafters.
Venditti has his sign, sets at the letters, and fires the 2-1. It's driven into right center field. Going back is Colton Klein. He's in front of the track, and he can't make the catch. It's off the wall. Schieckhofer rounds second, and he cruises into third with a stand-up leadoff triple.
Larry, that ball was absolutely crushed into center field. Klein did his best to try to make that grab, and he almost tried to make a Willie Mays type of catch out there in center field and had a bit of an awkward ricochet off the wall that he couldn't get to, which allowed Schieckhofer to turn a double into a triple.
Even a good throw wouldn't have been able to catch him. He's got good speed, and now he's standing on third, and the Rockford infield comes in for Jason Decochea, who's been really good, and he takes a fastball, strike 1 on the inner third of the plate. Decochea joined the team a few games ago, and he's got an RBI in 4 straight. Senior from Santa Clara University. Here's the 0-1. Pulled foul down the third base side. And it's 0-2.
This would be a big batter for Venditti to get out, because Decochea, as you mentioned, has RBIs in the last 4 straight games. When the infield's drawn in, the hitter becomes a lot better.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Jam shot into center, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Coming home to score is Richie Schieckhofer, and it's an RBI single for Jason DiCochea, who now has an RBI in 5 straight games. And Rapids strikes first. It's 1-0 in the bottom half of the first.
Not a bad pitch from Venditti. Got him a bit jammed, but it just fell into center field for a base hit. At least the runner's not in scoring position now for him, and he could kind of reset in a way.
Double play in order, still no outs. Wallstad steps to the dish, having gone 1 for 3 with an RBI last night. The senior from Sacramento State. Venditti steps off and tosses to check on DiCochea, who dives back. Wallstad enters this one with 5 homers. A .418 slugging percentage. First pitch to the left-handed batter. It's popped up to the left side. Ranging out is Sam Vomhoff, who gets called off by the left fielder Brian Sturvin, who makes the grab in shallow left field. And there's one away here in the bottom half of the first. 1-0 Rapids.
It's a good bounce back out for Venditti. Usually when you give up big hits, it's a big test for a pitcher because sometimes you either fall victim and you keep allowing more base hits, but that time got out a proven hitter in Wallstad.
So now it's the cleanup batter, Andy Garriola, the redshirt sophomore from Old Dominion, playing right field tonight. Last night he was 1 for 4 with a stolen base, and before the first pitch, Venditti again checks on DiCochea, who's again back safely. It was a sloppy throw as Dvorak had to jump over the runner at first base to pick it out of the dirt. Now Venditti steps back on, gives a look to DiCochea and comes set at the letters and fires the first pitch. It's a ground ball to second. Could be 2. LeBeau to second for 1. On to first. Dvorak can't pick it out of the dirt, and it's off the chain link fence. Hustling to back it up was the catcher Olson. Good play by him, and it keeps Garriola at first on the fielder's choice. Now there's 2 away for the 5-batter Hank Zeisler.
Larry, that was going to look like a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play, but there was a hard slide from DiCochea into second base, which probably made it difficult for Vomhoff at short. And also a lot of credit goes to Hunter Olson behind the dish to back that one up. Runner could easily be at second right now if not for him.
Now there's just 1 runner on first base. Here's the first pitch to Zeisler. It's a fastball right down the middle, taken for strike 1. Zeisler, the junior from Chapman University, has just 1 hit versus Rockford in 3 games. Did not play last night. One of 3 left-handed batters. Here's the first pitch to him. It's a bouncer, and it gets away from Olson. Moving up to second easily without a throw is Garriola. And it's now 1-1.
A little bit surprised that Olson was unable to get to that one, but it was pretty inside. Very close to hitting Zeisler.
Zeisler has 17 RBIs. Stands in the left-handed batter's box, waves the bat around a few times. Holds the bat at shoulder level. Here's the 1-1 to him. Foul ball straight back. Zeisler was right on it, and it's now 1-2.
Zeisler's been a patient hitter all year long and has some power too. 5 homers on the season, 21 walks and 21 strikeouts. So he knows how to pick him.
Venditti looking for his first strikeout. Here in the bottom of the first. He's already surrendered 1 run. He's got a runner on second base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line down the first base line. Diving stop by Jackson Dvorak. He shovels to Venditti and the throw gets away. Coming around third base to score is Garriola. And the Rivets go back to first base. Try to get Zeisler, but he's back safely. And the score is now Rapids 2, Rivets nothing in the bottom of the first.
Larry will have to see how that is scored, but that should be a base hit. Nice play from Dvorak to keep the ball from going into right field. meaning extra bases, possibly even 3 bases. Instead, he kept in the infield, but unfortunately a run did score, unable to complete the put out to first.
I imagine that will be a base hit. It is scored as such on the scoreboard. The inning extends for Christian Sepulveda. It's been real hot lately. Here's the first pitch to the right-handed batter. Fastball down the middle for a called strike. Looking at Sepulveda's numbers, last night he went 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs, one of the best performances in the whole league last night. He's reached in 8 straight, has a hit in 5 straight, and he's played in every single game this year. Venditti steps off and tosses to check on Zeisler, who's back safely.
Larry's, he's turned into a bit of a rivet killer. Had a monster shot back at Rivets Stadium early on in the season when the Rivets first encountered the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters.
Here's the 0-1 to Sepulveda. Changeup swung on and missed. A nice pitch from Venditti on the outer half of the plate, and it's 0-2. Sepulveda does have 33 strikeouts. Venditti is looking for his first of the season here in Rockford. Sets above the letters. Delivers the 0-2. Fastball misses upstairs. Venditti has a few pitches to waste, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Not a bad idea to change eye levels for a big swing and miss hitter, almost an all or nothing hitter in some respects. Not a bad idea to go upstairs for that high heat.
Sepulveda standing at 6'5", 215. Here's the 1-2. Misses at chin level on a fastball inside. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. The bottom of the first with 2 runs in. Runner on first base is Hank Zeisler. Rivets need an out here. They need momentum going into the second inning, having lost 7 straight. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Venditti went upstairs with the changeup for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Rafters continue to manufacture runs at an efficient clip as they get a leadoff triple and score 2 runs here in the first inning. It's 2-0 Rafters. And we'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. Rockford Rivets down 2-0 to the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. The final meeting of the season between these two squads heading in different directions. Rafters on a 5-game winning streak. Rivets on a 7-game losing streak. And things are looking that way again here tonight. Back out there, Nathan Hemmerling will face the middle third, starting with Cherokee LeBeau, and he takes strike 1. Should say 5, 6, 7 in the Rockford order. LeBeau, Sturdivant, and Sam Vomhoff. Cherokee, the sophomore from UW Milwaukee. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and fouled back. Just got a piece of that one. And it's 0-2. Last night, Cherokee was 0 for 3. He's struggled early on this season. He's just 1 for 21 with 7 strikeouts. Strikeout numbers should get better. He was having eye problems early in the season. Could not get the proper prescription before the season started for him. Here's the wind in the 0-2. Swung on and missed on a foul tip. Strike 3. That's strikeout number 3 of the evening for Hemmerling. And there's one away in the top half of the second. 2-0 Rapids.
Hemmerling looked sharp in the first inning. Now he looked sharp in the second, racking up the strikeouts, making quick work of these Rivets hitters. That one only took him 3 pitches.
He'll look to keep a good thing going against Brian Sturdivant, right-handed batter, the junior from UW-Whitewater. The first pitch is a breaking ball in there for a called strike. Sturdivant playing left field tonight for Rockford. Was 0 for 1 last night with a pinch hit appearance. Holds the bat above his helmet and waits on the 0-1. Check swing. Did he go? He did indeed. And it's 0-2.
Talk about paint. That was working off the outside corner and a good 0-1 breaking ball. Might go back to it here.
Sturdivant now chokes up. Hemmerling works from the windup and fires the 0-2. Misses low and outside. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Beautiful night to play baseball. Wisconsin Rapids. Shadows now covering a little bit of the mound with a ray of sunlight just on the front edge. The 1-2 is laced to third base. Leaping grab by Christian Sepulveda. That was a late line drive that was destined for the left field line. But the big fella at third base, Sepulveda, standing at 6'5", leapt, reached over his head, and made the play.
There's a reason why they usually put tall fielders out at the corners, because for that reason right there, and Sepulveda used his 6'5" height to his advantage.
Now there's 2 down for Sam Vomhoff. The first pitch is fouled off to the left side to the left-handed batter, Vomhoff, playing shortstop, also from UW-Whitewater. Rivets down early, 2-0 to the home team, Rafters. Hemmerling steps off for the 0-1. Hemmerling mowing the Rivets down early on with 3 strikeouts. The 0-1. Fastball that catches the lower third of the zone to Vomhoff, and it's quickly 0-2. Vomhoff not choking up. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Hemmerling buried a breaking ball in the dirt, and Vomhoff chased. And that's K number 4 through 2 innings for the right-hander. And the score holds. Rapids 2, Rivets nothing. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. Two 2-0 ball game in favor of the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters over the Rockford Rivets here at Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids. Tyler Venditti is back out on the mound after allowing 2 first-inning runs. He'll face the lower third of the Rapids order, starting with Kyle Teal, followed by Jacob Hinderleiter and Austin Krizik. Teal, number 2, playing the 2 spot on defense, the catcher. high school senior from Virginia, has been oh so impressive this year. He fouls off the first pitch to the right side. It's off the canopy above the grandstand, and it bounces back onto the field of play. Retrieved out of the dugout by Angelo Diacunto on the bench tonight for the Rafters. Witter Field, very historic ballpark here in the heart of Wisconsin. The 0-1 from Venditti, another foul ball, this time to the right side. Teal was out in front of it, and it's 0-2.
Larry, you mentioned how impressive Teal has been this season, 3 home runs and 3 doubles, as he'll be soon heading to Virginia, taking his full advantage of his first time seeing college pitching this summer.
0-2, another foul ball. Again, out in front was Teal. And we will do the 0-2 over. Teal so far this season hitting .274 with 3 homers. He had a 2-homer game earlier this summer. He had a chance to be drafted this year before the draft to go to Virginia. The 0-2, fastball just misses outside off the outer black.
Venditti wanted that one, got the ball right back, and he's ready to go. He only needs to give his team a chance.
1-2 pitch. Swung on and drilled to first base. Making the catch is Jackson Dvorak. That was a screaming liner, but right at the Rockford first baseman who's playing behind the bag. And it's a quick 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. 2-0 Wisconsin Rapids. And Adam, a quick out right there is just what the doctor ordered.
It's just what the doctor ordered, Larry, and Venditti just came right at Teal. Not a bad way to go on 2 strikes. Your team is trailing, you're expecting length out of your starter.
It's the first pitch to Jacob Hinderleiter, taken for a strike on the inner third. Jacob didn't like the call, but no less, it's 0-1. Hinderleiter, the freshman from Davidson, enters tonight with a .282 batting average mark. The 0-1 is a bender buried in the dirt in the left-handed batter's box to the righty shortstop. And it's back even. Here's the set and the 1-1. Fastball for a called strike. Again on the inner third. Venditti sees that he's got a spot that Hinderleiter doesn't like, and he's setting up there. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Don't see too often a right-handed pitcher go up into a right-handed hitter's grill.
1-2 pitch. Skied into center field. Going back is Klein. Now into right center. He reaches up and makes the play. A handful of feet in front of the warning track. It's 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom half of the second. 2-0 Wisconsin Rapids.
That was a nice angle from Colton Klein out in center field. Just kept following the path of the ball, never had his eyes off of it. Covered a lot of good ground. He's a big man, and he covers a lot of distance with his long legs.
Here's another righty, the 9-batter Austin Krizik. The first pitch misses low. Venditti going back with a fastball. And so far, Adam, command has not been the trouble for Venditti. It's just been hard contact. We saw a lot of it in the first inning. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball bounces in front of the mitt of Hunter Olson behind the plate, and it's 2-0.
As a pitcher, you just want to get quick outs, rack up some Ks here and there, and let the ball be hit to your defense. And so far, that's exactly what Venditti is doing, which is what the Rivets need in this game.
2-0 offering from Venditti. Skied into center field again. Klein ranges to his left, reaches up, and makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 second frame for Tyler Venditti. And the score remains Rapids 2, Rivets nothing. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. freshman on this team that has been impressive for the Rivets. Rockford backstop showing good contact skills. Hemmerling winds and deals the 2-2. It's a short chopper to second base. Making the play is Deco Chea. Throwing on to first in time to retire Olsen. Deco Chea kind of smothered that one between his glove and his hip, but he was able to retire Olsen no less. There's one away in the top half of the third, 2-0 ball game in favor of the Rafters.
Sometimes you just got to block the ball with your body, and that's exactly what Deco Chea did right there.
So here's the 9-hitter Simon Dembeck, also a freshman. Lays off a breaking ball low and away. For ball one. Dembeck last night also had a pinch hit appearance, also was hitless. Here's the 1-0. Fastball misses outside, just off home plate, and it's 2-0. Hemmerling has been dealing so far, only allowing one hit. Here's the 2-0. Misses upstairs, and Hemmerling is behind 3-0, something that has not been common tonight. He has yet to surrender a walk. That lone hit coming in the first inning. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Fastball down the middle, taken for a strike.
Fine strike one there, and the 3 balls before were relatively close to the strike zone. So he's still pretty much in control of this ball game.
Dembeck in the right-handed batter's box. Righty against righty, the 3-1 pitch. Is a curveball that misses low. Dembeck was taking all the way, and it's a 1-out walk here in the Rockford third inning. Adam, patience paying off there at the bottom of the order for Rockford.
Always huge when your number 9 hitter can get on base. It can swing around to the top of the order. And the Rivets have been struggling to get on base since the restart. Not having too many hits per game and not too many walks, but it's a good start here.
It turns the lineup back to the top half, and Jackson Dvorak, who's 0 for 1 with a pop out to second base on the first pitch of the ball game. Another righty-on-righty matchup. First pitch is a fastball that just catches the outer half of the zone. Taken for strike one. Dembeck on first base. Has some speed, but no stolen bases this year. Takes a few-step lead off the bag, held on by Wallstad. Hemmerling comes set above the belt and fires. The runner goes. Pitch is in there for a strike. The throw is not in time. The throw was to the third base side of second base. The shortstop, Deco Chea, came over to field the throw. Could not turn in time to tag Dembeck, who slid to the outer half of the bag. And it's a swiped base for the Rockford right fielder. And now there is another base delay. In case you're just joining us, we had one of these before the top half of the first started. And now it's second base that has problems. Before the game started, we were having problems with the cornerbacks, getting them into their spots on the infield. And now Dembeck's slide knocks second base loose. And now it's back in.
This almost reminds me of Little League when you had these bats that were held into the ground, and every time you slid in, you kicked the base away. Had to hold up your hands.
Rivets looking for their first run of the ball game, first run of the series as they were shut out last night. 2-0 Rapids. Top half of the third. Rivets have lost 7 straight. Here's the 0-2 to Dvorak. He nicks it just to stay alive. Breaking ball off the end of the bat that rolled right to the on-deck circle, where Vondruska was able to field it, and he tosses it to the bat boy on the other side of the field. We will do the 0-2 over again. Dvorak without an RBI so far for Rockford. Another 0-2. This one driven to the opposite field. Ranging towards the line is Andy Garriola, and he makes the play on the run. Tagging and trying to go to third base is Dembeck. The throw is offline. Gets past Sepulveda, but Dembeck stays on the third base bag. So it's a productive out for Dvorak. And now there's a run 90 feet away with 2 down for Bradley Vondruska.
Great situational hitting by Dvorak, hitting the ball deep into the outfield and allowing Dembeck to move over to third base. Still 2 outs, though, but it does help out the Rivets, who have not had their fair share of runs since the restart, just 10. period of 7 games.
Vondruska has an RBI to his name. A few games played for Rockford this summer. Hemmerling comes home with the first pitch. It's swung on and fouled off. Right to the Rockford dugout. Everybody's okay. And it's 0-1 on the Rockford DH. A sophomore from Milwaukee Area Technical College struck out swinging in the first inning. He was Hemmerling's first strikeout victim. He's got 4. 1 in every inning so far. This one would be a big one. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Nathan. Buried in the dirt. Low and away to Vondruska, who can be tricky to pitch to, standing at 5'10", 170 in the right-handed batter's box. Making the strike zone small. Hemmerling looks in for the sign. The sophomore from Lakeland University comes set and delivers the 1-1. Chopped foul down the left side into the Rafters dugout. Knocked down by a bare hand of a bench player. That looked like Roman Trujillo knocking it down. So Vondruska stays alive. It's 1-2.
Skara has a lot of faith in Vondruska. Moving up to the top of the order. Needs to be tough here.
Here's the pitch. Ground ball to third base. It's a slow one. Sepulveda fields on the run and throws on to first well in time to beat Vondruska. So the Rivets leave Simon Dembeck stranded on third base. It's their second runner on base stranded, and it's 2-0 Wisconsin Rapids. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. It's Wisconsin Rapids Rafters 2, Rockford Rivets nothing. Headed to the bottom half of the third from Witterfield in Wisconsin Rapids. A Wisconsin-Illinois pod matchup between two teams heading in different directions. 5 wins in a row for the Rafters, 7 losses in a row for Rockford. 2 first-inning runs for Rapids is the story so far. Tyler Venditti out there for a third inning of work. Looking for 3 more outs. He'll face the top half of the Rapids order. The first pitch to the leadoff man, Richie Schieckhofer, is taken for a strike. Fastball paints the outside corner. And Adam, in your pregame interview with JT Skara, he said he needs 9 outs out of Venditti. And after that rough first, he's settled in. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball misses well outside, and it's back even.
Larry, this very well could be his last inning, but he has settled down. This would be another clean 1-2-3 inning. Might bring him back out there for a 4th.
It's worked relatively efficiently. Worked a 1-2-3 inning in the second. Sets for the 1-1 and delivers. Fastball misses low and in near the burgundy shoe tops of Schieckhofer. Plays for Rutgers. Had a leadoff triple and a run scored in the first inning. Here's the 2-1 offering. Misses outside, and it's 3-1. Venditti has not walked a batter tonight. That's one thing that the Rivets cannot afford against a potent offense like Wisconsin Rapids. Ranks second in just about every category. Is the 3-1. It's a fastball that misses inside, and it's a 5-pitch walk to start the bottom of the third for Wisconsin Rapids, who are already up 2-0.
It's always trouble when you walk the leadoff hitter, and Schieckhofer's a good one. Has good speed on the base paths as well. Has 6 stolen bases this season in 7 opportunities.
Here's Jason DiCochea, who drove in Schieckhofer in the first inning with an RBI single. His 8th RBI of the season, making his second start versus the Rivets. Venditti steps off and tosses over to check on Schieckhofer, who's back safely. Schieckhofer has 6 stolen bags. Takes a big lead after getting up from the slide. Venditti looks in for the sign from Hunter Olsen. Gives a look to Schieckhofer. Sets above the letters. And delivers home. And it's swung on and fouled back to the screen. And it's 0-1.
Larry, when you have a fast runner on base, sometimes you try to vary your holds. And Venditti looked over to first base and then had pretty much a 5-second count before going to the plate. Don't be surprised he tries to mix and match his holds, try to keep Schieckhofer off balanced.
Venditti working from the left side of the rubber and steps off and throws to first base. It's a rough one coming off the bag to snag it was Dvorak. Towards the home plate side of first base. Getting back again with ease was Schieckhofer. Venditti has a quick move, but it has not been accurate so far. He's set for the 0-1. Here it is. Fastball misses high. Olsen looks Schieckhofer back, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody up in the Rockford Rivets bullpen just yet. Venditti made 1 relief appearance previously. Made 1 start this spring at Waubonsie Community College. And before the 1-1, he steps off and throws again to check on Schieckhofer, who is safe again.
Venditti's thinking a lot about Schieckhofer at first base. Lots of throws over lots of long holds. Trying to make sure he stays there, as the Rafters are really good of runners in scoring position.
Meanwhile, DiCochea waits and swings at the 1-1 and pops it over our heads in the press box, over the covering of the grandstand. And it's 1-2. Ground ball could mean a double play. And 1 more strike means Venditti's 2nd K of the night. 2-0 Wisconsin Rapids over Rockford in the bottom of the third. 1-2 pitch to DiCochea. Instead, another pickoff throw on Schieckhofer, who's again back safely. Now Venditti steps back on. Long pause, has his sign, and delivers another 1-2, misses inside. Nearly hit the shirt sleeve of DiCochea. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That has been Venditti's miss this inning. Missing the ball inside to DiCochea and Schieckhofer.
Before the 2-2 pitch, yet another check on Schieckhofer, who slides in head first. Dvorak's tag not in time. Rockford middle infield playing at double play depth. Phil Highland at third base, just past the bag, and Dvorak holds on Schieckhofer. 2-2 from Venditti. Breaking ball just misses the head of DiCochea. He had to duck out of the way of that one, and now the count is full.
Once again, his miss has been inside. Both the fastball and the curveball have not been located the last 2 ABs.
We'll see what he goes with on 3-2. Payoff pitch as the runner goes. It's slapped the other way, tailing foul over the Rivets batting cage and bullpen. Out of play on the right field side. And we will do it again.
This is an important bat for Venditti. He's to try to not walk his 2nd straight batter, put the ball in play, and hopefully Rivets defense can turn 2.
It's been a long at-bat Venditti shakes off Olsen, now has his sign, and fires another payoff pitch as a ground ball to short. Vomhoff to his knees, throws onto second for one. LeBeau onto first, not in time. So Rockford cuts down the lead runner. It was an awkward play for Vomhoff, made the backhanded stop, but stumbled a bit, made a good throw to LeBeau, but Vomhoff took his time a little bit, and so DiCochea was well safe at first base. So now there's one on with one out for Ryan Wallstedt.
If you can't get two, it's always important to get the lead runner. And Vomhoff almost overset himself, but stayed with the ball, and at the very least got the lead runner.
First pitch to the first baseman. Fastball that catches the inner black of home plate. And it's 0-1. Back in the first, Wallstedt flew out to left field for the first out of the ball game. Shadows now overtaking the left side of the field, left side of the infield and left field. 0-1 to Wallstedt as the runner goes. The pitch misses outside. Olsen throws down, and it is in time to get him. Looked like a bit of a delayed steal or just a bad jump from DiCochea as Olsen almost double clutched on the throw, which was right down the middle, taken for a strike. And DiCochea is cut down at second base, and now it's 0-2 with two outs and nobody on. Excuse me, the count is 1-1. Scoreboard's wrong as the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed by Wallstedt. Now it's 1-2.
Larry, just going back to that play, it looks like Vomhoff came a little late to the bag, but good job by Olsen to make a good, accurate throw to nail it DiCochea.
1-2 pitch misses high and away to the Sacramento State product. How about the way this inning has turned around? Long at bat to DiCochea. Ends up with a ground ball out. Here's the 2-2. Check swing on a breaking ball in the dirt. He did indeed go around. So Tyler Venditti works around back-to-back base runners and faces the minimum in the bottom half of the third against Wisconsin Rapids. It's still Rafters 2, Rivets nothing. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. Welcome back to Witter Field, where it's 2-0 in favor of Wisconsin Rapids. Taking a look at the out-of-town scoreboard in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod. Wisconsin Woodchucks on top of the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders at Hare Baker Field, 4-3 ball game. The one other score, it's Green Bay 2, Lacrosse Longers 1 at Capital Credit Union Park in Green Bay. For the next three innings on play-by-play, here's Adam Cohen.
Hemmerling steps back in, first pitch to Colton Klein, a bait swing and a miss. 0-1. As I mentioned, Larry, Green Bay up 2-1 over the Longers. Rivets, of course, looking at Green Bay closely. They trail them by half a game, and playoff implications are involved. Here comes the 0-1 from Hemmerling. Misses low and inside.
It's really amazing how the tables have turned, so to speak, in this Rockford-Green Bay race. Green Bay has not won a game since they beat Rockford twice.
Here comes the 1-1. And just misses a bit low and outside. Colton Klein is a bit too tall. But you're right, it looked like that the original Rivets were way ahead of the Green Bay. 2-1. And off-speed pitch finds its way in the zone on the outer third of the plate. Evens the count at 2-2.
Adam, the old Rivets, they were really dominating the Booyah, but then the new Rivets team came in, lost 2 close games at CCU Park. They overtook the lead.
Wheels and deals the 2-2. A swing and a miss from Colton Klein. That is the 5th strikeout of the day for Hemmerling. He was dominant, taking his dominance into the 4th inning.
He does look really good, and perhaps Colton Klein, one of the toughest players in this Rockford order, gets set down. And we knew coming into this ball game that Hemmerling had good strikeout stuff, and this Rivets order has struggled with strikeouts lately, so it could be a problem, and it certainly has been.
In steps Phil Highland, the righty. And takes a fastball right over the heart of the plate, 0-1. Highland goes to Rockford University, one of a couple players on the new screws that go to that college, along with Troy Tucci. Time is called. Rivets have struggled with strikeouts, averaging 8 per game. They're looking better the last 2, but once again, strikeouts are getting to them. The 0-1 from Hemmerling. And poked out into center field. That will find some outfield glass as Schiethoffer will throw it in. And just the 2nd hit for the Screws. 3rd base runner of the game as Highland continues to stay hot.
Good news for the Rivets there on the 1-out single from Highland, but more good news. There's a pitcher warming up in the Wisconsin Rapids bullpen. It is number 25, Hunter Waldis.
Rivets would be happy to get Hemmerling out of the game sooner rather than later. Pitching from the stretch. He's pitching to Cherokee LeBeau, but not before throwing over. Highland back in there safely off first. If you're just tuning in, the Rafters up 2-0 over the Rivets here at Witter Field. Just 1 out and Highland off first. Another throw over. Highland back in there. Besides center field, the entirety of Witter Field is covered in shadows now. Twilight soon to come. Another throw over, and that time around, he catches Highland leading. Hemmerling has quick feet, and the Rivets, who have not had a lot of base runners today, lose another one.
You can't afford that mistake, Adam. Those are the little things that add up to the big things that just have not gone Rockford's way in a 7-game losing streak. Cannot afford that there.
Now the first pitch to LeBeau. Taps that one to second. DiCochea flips it to first in time. As Hemmerling faces the minimum, Rivets do not score. They're still behind 2-0. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, you're listening to Rivets Radio Baseball. As we head into the bottom of the 4th, the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters are still up 2-0 over the Rockford Rivets. And back out there is Tyler Venditti. He has been excellent so far, just allowing 2 earned runs back in the first, and has been excellent since then. And I think it's very important that Venditti's back out there because although the starting pitching has been rough, the bullpen has been worse.
It certainly has, Adam, and Venditti has the momentum in his favor. Allowed all 3 hits. He's surrendered back in that first inning. Since then, he's set Rapids down facing the minimum.
Facing off against Andy Garriola. Tosses in a breaking ball in for strike 1. Garriola goes to Old Dominion and scored in the first inning after reaching on a fielder's choice. The 0-1 from Venditti. Tapper to the shortstop hole, and it's off the glove of Vomhoff. Trickles into left field. Garriola does not see the play, running straight through the bag, so he will stay at first base. We will see how that one is scored, but not the best start. It is a hit, but not the best start for Venditti, as that's a seeing eye single.
That one was hit hard into the 5.5 hole and just past a diving Phil Highland off the heel of the glove of Vomhoff. Got to make those plays or at least knock him down, try to stop him on the infield grass, and luckily for the Rivets, Garriola not able to see the play, so he stops at first base.
It's a good break for the Rivets, I should say. Enters the lefty Zeisler. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Zeisler, one of 3 lefties in the lineup for the Rafters today. He goes to Chapman University. A lot of power from the left-hand side. Works well with the 315 sign here at Witter Field. On hold, the 0-1. And liner through the hole into right field. That's a base hit for Zeisler. Stopping at second is Garriola. And the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters are cooking with oil right now.
They are back-to-back singles here in the 4th inning, and now it looks like the wheels are coming off the wagon a bit for Venditti. He relatively successfully got his 9 outs that manager J.T. Scara wanted. He sent him back out here for this 4th inning, and now he's in a bit of trouble.
It's going to be a difficult scene for Venditti, as 2 on, no one out here in the bottom of the 4th. Rafters up 2-0 over the Rivets. First pitch to Christian Sepulveda. Misses, actually no, it catches the zone, high strike, 0-1.
That's a great spot for Venditti. Keep pounding it there because Sepulveda didn't like the call, and that's where Sepulveda really can't turn on it. He's a big man. He's got some power.
On hold, looking back at second now, coming to the plate. Misses outside, evens the count at 1-1. Larry, you talk about the power. Sepulveda has 4 homers this season. Makes sense why he has so much power, as he is the nephew of Red Sox legend David Ortiz.
I've heard they don't have the best relationship exactly, but nonetheless, Sepulveda, a great ball player in his own right.
Here comes the 1-1. Bait swing and miss, and it goes towards the backstop. Olsen gets the ball. Big turn at third base from Garriola, heading towards second is Zeisler. And a hard situation for Venditti just becomes a lot more difficult.
Now he really needs a strikeout at him. In that situation, he could have afforded a ground ball in the infield with a force at any square bag. Now there's only a force at first base. So Rockford infield does not come in, surprisingly, though.
Pitching from the stretch and misses upstairs. Nearly hit Sepulveda. Had to duck on that one.
I threw it behind him there, Adam, and my goodness, big fella moving like a cat in the right-handed batter's box out of the way of that one. I don't know how it missed him.
He is certainly an athletic player, both in the box and on the field. Another big hold from Venditti. Here comes the 1-2. Fouls it the other way. And towards the parking lot. Still 1-2. Actually, it's 2-2, my mistake. There is a pitcher warming up in the Screws bullpen. So Venditti might not be for too much longer in this ball game. Long stare into Olsen's mitt. Gets his sign. Ready to deal the 2-2. And a bait swing and a miss. That's a Huge strikeout for Venditti, third K of the night, and got against one of the more fearsome hitters in the Rafters lineup.
Second time that Venditti has retired Sepulveda with the strikeout tonight. And it looks like they're signaling up to our press box to turn the lights on. Who forgot? But anyways, back to that strikeout. That was big, Adam, because with no force out, Rivets needed something there, and the more you can keep the ball out of play with runners in scoring position, the better.
Venditti got a productive out, now facing the lefty Teal. This is upstairs, 1-0.
And Adam, now that Venditti's in trouble, Jacob Taft is up and warming in the Rockford bullpen.
Taft appeared in last night's 10-0 loss. He threw a scoreless inning. 1-0. And J.M. Teal, as he fouls one off to the right-hand side. Very interesting move to have Taft warming up, because Sierra mentioned how he usually does not go to relievers on back-to-back days. But Rivets do need a victory. 7-game losing streak since the restart. Want it to end as quickly as possible. 1-1 from Venditti. And soft ground ball to first. That will score a run. Dvorak flips to first in time. That's the second out of the inning. So it's an RBI for Teal, and Garriola comes around to score. So Wisconsin Rapids Rafters now 3-0 over the Screws with 2 outs, and Hank Zeisler on third base.
At that point, you got to trade a run for an out. It's only 3-0 now, and you got to put some trust in your offense. And Venditti was in a jam. That's not the worst result possible by any means.
Venditti giving his all tonight, pitching a good game so far. The first pitch to Hinderleiter. And line shot just over the head of Cherokee LeBeau into right field. That's another RBI for the Rafters, an RBI for Hinderleiter, as Zeisler comes around to score. Rafters now 4-0 over the Screws with still 2 outs.
Things unraveling fast here for Rockford. Just 2 crooked numbers, the big difference here. 2 runs in the first, and now 2 runs here in the fourth. And Venditti just needs to get out of it so the Rivets can go to the bullpen in the next inning.
He has allowed soft contact this inning. It's not worked to his favor. Face number 9 hitter Kryzik, left fielder in the first pitch, misses low and outside. Nice pick by Hunter Olsen behind the dish. Looks like JT Sierra wants him to complete the inning. Give a full clean inning to his reliever Taft, the 1-0. Driven deep into left field, hooking towards the line, and just foul. Hit off the wall, perhaps around 15 feet from the left field foul pole, and the Screws catch a break.
That was real close, Adam. Probably a little closer than 15 feet, but man, that almost bounced right off the wall, and I think Venditti knows he got away with one there, because a bad inning could turn to really bad in an instant if Kryzik gets a hold of one.
Venditti has challenged the Rapids Rafters inside all day long, and that one almost got out of here in a hurry. Instead, here comes the 1-1. Misses outside of the fastball. Not trying to go to that inside corner again all too quickly. Long hold, 2-1. Tries to go up the curveball inside, but does not get the call from home plate umpire Thomas Latimer. Though Venditti has given up 4 earned runs, he has kept the Rafters off balance with a 3-pitch miss, a 3-1. Popped up into foul territory, and that will go out of play. Hits up near the booth towards our right. Be a full count.
Adam, I'm waiting for a foul ball in the booth here. We almost had one last time we were up here, but not quite on that one.
This might be one of the easier places to catch a foul ball. We are very high up. One of the highest views in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod, if not the highest, up here in the broadcast booth. Nonetheless, the payoff pitch, and it misses way upstairs, inside. So it's just the second walk of the day for Venditti. Prize works a walk, and Hinderleiter goes to second. Still 2 outs with the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters up 4-0.
We'll see if JT Scara goes to the bullpen. I don't think he will yet. Trying to stretch out Venditti as much as possible. 2 outs, all it takes is 1 pitch to get out of this. But you can only afford to ride with Venditti for so much longer.
Enters in Sheekhofer, the leadoff hitter. Big swing miss, but foul tips it into the glove of Olson. Sheekhofer is another left-handed hitter in this Rapids Rafters order, I should say. Has a triple, a run scored, and a walk. Done well off Venditti so far. Looking back towards second, here comes Venditti with the 0-1. Curveball dunks right over the heart of the plate for a strike.
Strikeout here would be big to end Venditti's night and send the Rivets out of this inning on a positive note because they need one.
He's almost deserved better for the game, doing a lot of weak contact, managing these Rafters hitters well. He has given it his all for the Screws tonight, hoping to end the threat here and leave it up to his offense. And a long stare down, Sheekhofer calls time.
Sometimes a pitcher will do that on purpose to make the hitter call time and wait in that batter's box.
Venditti knows how big the situation is, trying to keep Sheekhofer off balance. The 0-2 misses upstairs. He's climbed the ladder several times today to these Rafters hitters, knowing that a lot of pitches in the strike zone could be hit hard and even hit out. Virtually everyone in this lineup has great power. The 1-2, and rope foul towards the right field line.
Another one that Venditti gets away with. That one was real close, and Sheekhofer hit it on the screws.
This is an important at-bat for Venditti. Knows this could be his last batter of the night. Taft has been warming up for a while. Sierra wants him to end the inning. Screws want to hold the Rafters here. 2 runners on, 2 outs. At their long look at second base, the 1-2 from Venditti misses inside.
Now it seems like Tyler can't find the zone when he really needs to. And if there's any situation where he needs a strikeout, it is here. He needs to get the Rivets out of this inning before the Rafters can push across any more.
Did try to work with a couple pitches with 2 strikes. Now needs to come back right at Sheekhofer. He does, but just misses outside. Just off the plate. And Hunter Olson tried to frame it in there the best he could. So now with a full count, runners will be on the move. Hinderleiter off second. Krizik first, excuse me. And the payoff pitch. And straight 3 called in the outside corner. Venditti wraps up his 4th strikeout to end a solid night on the mound. The Screws needed that one. Nonetheless, Wisconsin Rapids Rafters scored 2 runs on 3 base hits. They take their 4-0 lead into the 5th. Be right back on the Rivets Baseball Network. Nothing can build up momentum than a great start from your starting pitcher. And the Rivets had a good one from Tyra Venditti. Although his night might not be over yet, he's thrown 4 strong. And the Screws need to start peppering Hemmerling. He'll be 7-8, Brian Sturdivant, Sam Von Hoff, and Hunter Olson. Here in the top of the 5th, Rapids up 4-0. The first pitch, poked out into the gap, and coming in the right fielder, Andy Garriola, and he makes the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Hemmerling. Economical as always.
Hemmerling has been really chugging along here, 5 strikeouts, and he's pitched to contact when he needs to, but he's really got the strikeout stuff working. Retires a good contact hitter there, and Brian Sturdivant. And the Rivets just can't get anything going.
First pitch to lefty Sam Von Hoff, and clips the outside corner, 0-1. It is interesting because Hemmerling did have a reliever in the warm-up, the 0-1. This is way inside, almost clips Von Hoff on the leg. Was a reliever warm-up last inning, but he is not this inning, the 1-1. As the off-speed misses low. Hemmerling has been dominant tonight. Manager Craig noted going back with him for a 5th inning, the 2-1. Misses outside.
Why wouldn't you go back to Hemmerling? He's got a 4-run lead now, room for error.
3-1 count to Von Hoff. Clips the lower part of the zone. Nice frame by Kyle Teal. He has kept the Screws off balance all night long. This is his game. The payoff pitch. And fouled off towards the left-hand side. Hemmerling has just allowed 2 base hits, 3 base runners. The other one came in a walk. Payoff pitch. Tapper up the middle. Henderleiter gets it. Makes a strong throw to first in time, just by a step. So 2 quick outs for Hemmerling. Here in the top of the 5th, Rafters still up 4-0.
Hemmerling can do no wrong, it seems like, as now it's up to Hunter Olson to try and start something here in this 5th inning. Like you said, Adam, only 2 hits, and the Rivets, when they do get base runners, they haven't been able to manufacture anything. Biggest chance they had was Simon Dembeck on 3rd base in the 3rd.
His first pitch to the righty Olson, misses low and outside. That was a big opportunity for the Screws as they had a runner in scoring position for the only time this game. 1-0. This is outside. Teal does not get the call. When you're playing against the Rafters, you got to take advantage of everything you can. The Screws have not been doing that tonight. 2-0. Swing and a miss at a low fastball.
Adam, I'd like to provide a behind-the-scenes update here in Wisconsin Rapids. A dragonfly has descended upon the press box.
The 2-1. Tapper foul.
Poor guy can't seem to get out. Pressing up against the lights. Somebody help that man.
He's distracting our fellow broadcaster, Seamus, on our left-hand side. Usually moths are very attracted to lights, but this time the dragonfly is. 2-2. And breaking ball misses upstairs.
Olson is very patient as a catcher. That's what you expect, and the Rivets need patience right now. Back-to-back 3-2 counts, perhaps taxing Hemmerling a bit more than he's been used to.
Need base runners to 3-2. Tapper to short. Henderleiter makes the long throw and just gets him by half a step. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Nathan Hemmerling. He keeps the Screws off balance and scoreless. The Rafters will take their 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back on Rivets Radio Network. lights are taking full effect as we head into the bottom of the fifth at Litter Field. The Wisconsin Rapids Raptors are up 4-0 over the Rockford Rivets. We have a new pitcher in Jacob Taft.
Jacob Taft, the right-hander, standing at 5'9", out of Belvedere, Illinois. Has 2 appearances, 2 1/3 innings pitched. He's yet to allow an earned run.
Be facing off against Jason DiCochea, 2-3-4 here in the bottom of the fifth. First pitch from the right-hander, right-on-right matchup. Misses low and outside.
Taft pitched last night. Pitched another scoreless inning in what was otherwise a dismal night for Rockford pitching. Him and Jordan Rodriguez going back-to-back scoreless innings. Rivets need more of that.
The 1-0 shows bunt, but pulls it back in time as that fastball missed low. Rivets do need more scoreless outings from their bullpen, probably one of the reasons why manager JT Sciarra has put Taft into the game, hoping to limit the damage, keep the Rafters right here, the 2-0. High fly ball. Underneath it is Klein and makes the catch for out number 1 here in the bottom of the fifth, as the Rafters have a 4-0 lead over the Screws.
That's really what Taft does well. He pitches to weak contact. A little bit of a slower arm, but he's got nasty breaking stuff. Venditti topping out in the mid to high 80s. Taft a bit lower in the low 80s. So it really provides a good change of pace, and most hitters are thrown off by it. Probably explains his 0 ERA.
Enters in the lefty Wallstad. Misses low and inside. A lot of these pitchers in the new Rivets bullpen might not throw as hard as their former counterparts, but they can still be very effective. As that fastball misses in the same location. And Larry, you make a good point on how that be a good change of pace. Difference in velocity from a new pitcher can prove to be the difference. 2-0 from Taft. Misses high and outside, just off the plate.
And especially with good breaking stuff, that can really throw hitters for a loop. I was talking with another catcher, Jake Kleekamp, and he said his cutter is just disgusting.
3-0, and misses inside. So it's a 1-out walk to Ryan Wallstad, and a 3rd walk from Rivets pitching today.
Taft with the 4-pitch walk there. It's never ideal, especially moving into the heart of the order. Got to be careful. Taft hasn't had great success in pitching first pitch strikes so far for the Rivets. But here, you got to get head starts on the hitters. Although a lot of them strike out a lot, you got to set yourself up well in order to do so.
It is true the Raptors strike out a lot, but they can also hit the ball very well. Arguably the best offensive team in the pod. Enters in the righty Garriolo, the first pitch, and it clips the lower outside corner. Good fastball from Taft.
That's what you need to do when you're a pitcher like Taft. Just pound the edges.
Especially when you throw a bit lower in velocity. That always helps when you can work off the corners. Hold now, the pitch, 1-0. 0-1. High fly ball to left center field. Klein makes the catch for out number 2. So both flyouts have been to him. We have 2 away and a runner on first. The Rafters still up 4-0.
I think Garriolo was really trying to drive that one, got way under it. And like you mentioned, Adam, 2 high fly balls into center. And that was pretty deep into center, but still in front of the warning track. Routine for Klein. That's what you got to do, pitch to contact. And it could be pretty easy inning for Taft if he can work around Hank Zeisler here.
Trying to throw another scoreless inning. The first pitch to lefty Zeisler. Fastball misses inside in the lefty's batter's box. Rivets' bullpen has been an issue. They have over a 9 ERA since the restart, the 1-0. And a strike clips the inside corner. As he mentioned, where he has been working off the corner, something that he's been doing well this inning.
Just got to keep pounding, especially inside to the lefty.
definitely can show dominance. The 1-1 misses high and upstairs.
Zeisler's got good power, so you don't want to miss high. Rather miss low, bury some breaking balls down low. You can't leave anything up in the zone to a guy like Zeisler.
He does have 5 long balls this season. The 2-1. Fastball misses inside. And it looks like that's kind of Taft's approach. Pretty much to all hitters, but especially to this Rafters lineup. Work off the edges. Try not to give them anything to hit. Trying to pitch the ball low. Still tries to keep the runners off the base paths. A 3-1. And roped foul. Looked good off the bat, but just kept tailing away.
Zeisler well out in front of that, and now Taft is a strike away from a strikeout. How big would that be? No, it's the 5th. It's starting to get late, and any base runner could pose another obstacle for Rockford breaking a 7-game losing streak.
Rivets need to limit the Rafters base runners good of scoring runners in scoring position to 3-2. Pote the other way and deep, but that one will head foul towards the Rafters bullpen. Zeisler battling here against Taft.
Got to be even more careful if you're Taft here. The longer the at-bat gets, the more it favors the hitter.
Checks his batting gloves and now back into the batter's box. Doing the payoff once again. Misses upstairs. So that's the 2nd walk from Taft this inning.
Well, he missed well above the zone there, and I guess that's better than missing just a bit above the zone, where Zeisler could really drive it. Being selective with his pitches, he drew the walk. Now it's a bit of a 2-out jam, but again, Taft can afford to put the ball in play here. Doesn't need to really try and blow anything by Sepulveda. But again, another big power hitter, got to work low in the zone.
Needs to pitch carefully. The walk, not the biggest of deals to Zeisler. 2 on, 2 out. 4-0 lead. So Rafters are over the screws. The first pitch to Sepulveda just misses upstairs. Sepulveda, even though he has struck out twice tonight, he had 5 RBIs against the Screws yesterday and finds himself with a couple ducks on the pond. The 1-0, misses upstairs again.
From my perspective up here, I'm not a pitching mechanics expert, but Taft is missing upstairs. It looks like he's really not finishing his pitches. He got to drive a little lower, use a bit more of his lower body, and follow through.
Perhaps he can fix his mechanics as he steps off, looks towards second, but no one was covering. Wallstead off second. Zeisler off first. Sepulveda getting ready to go back in the box. Has an orange shin guard. The 2-0 from Taft. And low in the dirt. Nice block from Olsen. Last thing you want right now is runners to move up an extra 90 feet.
Well, now it's 3-0, and Taft has a bit of a predicament with another good hitter, Kyle Teal, on deck. A lefty-righty matchup would be favorable. And I doubt Sepulveda will be swinging away on 3-0.
Just have the power for it. 3-0. And to Larry's prediction, he does take all the way on the outer third.
And you see there, Taft finished his delivery a little bit better. Just got to dial in here. It's easy to get distracted. You're facing big-time competition, the best team in the pod so far this year. Take a deep breath and just pitch.
Steps off, looks towards Wallstead at second, but once again, no one covering. Taft trying to do what's been tough for the Rivets pitching tonight. Hold down the Rafters, the 3-1. And he misses outside again. So all 3 runners on have come on via the walk. So it's bases juiced, 2 outs. And Rafters are up 4-0, looking to add some insurance runs.
Cannot allow base runners. These free passes have come back to bite the Rivets so far this year after coming back from their hiatus. And they need an out here. Still 2 outs. You can still pitch to contact. Taft did a great job of that at the beginning of the inning and getting the second out to Garriola. Rivets need another one of those flyouts right now.
Long hold, the first pitch to Teal, and it's through the hole into right field. Wallstad comes around to score. Here comes Garriola, and moving on to third is Hank Zeisler. It's a 2-run single for the high school senior in Kyle Teal, and just like that, the Rafters are up 6-0 with runners in the corners and the threat still looming.
Well, that wasn't very hard contact, but Teal just able to pull it through the right side. He was out in front of it like many hitters have been against Taft. Sometimes that's all you need is a little base hit in the right spot, and there goes Taft's 0 ERA. Another crooked number hung up on the Rivets, this time on the bullpen. Bullpen warming up for Rockford now, yet again.
Taft not out of it yet, though he did induce at least weak contact last time. The first pitch in their first strike to Jacob Hinderleiter, the right-handed shortstop.
Adam warming up in the bullpen for Rockford is Matthew Borgman, the sophomore right-hander.
Could be coming in this inning if Taft is unable to get out of it. The 0-1 in the dirt, and it bounces off the plate. Olsen catches a bit of a break there. Moving on to second is Teal on the wild pitch, and now a quick mound conference. Larry, it looks like that Olsen just had a few words for him, a few sentences. Probably just trying to calm him down and make sure that he can get out of this situation, make sure the game does not go away from the Screws' grasp.
Sometimes that's just what you got to do. A few words of encouragement can go a long way. Taft got some from Highland as well a few moments ago.
1-1 for Taft. And poked down to right field. That will find some outfield grass. And 2 runs will score. It is Sepulveda and Teal, and it's another 2-run single for the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters as Jacob Hinderleiter comes through in the clutch. The Rafters now take an 8-0 lead over the Rockford Rivets.
There you see that ball in the dirt costs the Rivets as the extra 90 feet means another run. You can't afford these runs when the Rivets offense has been just, quite frankly, so bad. And the bullpen continues to struggle here. More weak contact. Taft was inducing that at the beginning of the inning, and now after walking people, can't really afford any more of that.
First pitch to the righty, Krizik in the dirt low. Nice block from Olsen. And Larry, all those walks came around to bite Taft. He was inducing weak contact, and he kept walking batters, and he induced weak contact again. And put runners on, they make contact. They found some holes. The 1-0. This is high and outside.
If you're Taft right here, you know, every pitcher's been in this situation. He's got to focus on each batter. You can't think about your line right now. You can't think about your stats. Things have been rough, but just got to maintain your focus.
Pitching hitters count, the 2-0. Does not get the call on the low fastball. He needed that one. Once again behind in a 3-0 count. He's either completely lost his zone or induced contact, and inducing contact as of late, that's hurt him. The 3-0, taking all the way, and it is a strike called in the outside corner to Krizik, I should say. Krizik on the day has flown out to center field and has walked, so he's 0 for 1. 3-1, another hitter's count. Finds the same spot on the outside corner. So Taft has worked his way back into the count. Wants to get out of it right here. Payoff pitch, and fouled right back. That one a little bit closer to Larry Larson.
I'm waiting. I've got my glove today. Maybe I'll bring it up to desk level, but it's on the bucket list, catch a foul ball while broadcasting. I know a few buddies that have done it. This is the prime spot. Last opportunity here this year.
Scorebook in one hand and a glove in another could be the situation. But regardless, it is another payoff pitch. It's another high foul ball out of play. Larry, we're at baseball games. Were you the type of fan who always seemed to have his glove on
Always.
while in the seats? Yeah.
Always. Every time. Go
Even
early
when
for
you're
batting
eating, right?
practice, too.
It's the best time to catch one. Payoff pitch again. And hit over the head of Vomhoff in and into center field. Going all the way to third. Now actually going to second as no one was paying attention. So Krizik advances to second. Klein did not get the ball in time, so coming all the way around from first on just a hit to center field is Jacob Hinderleiter. And just like that, the Rafters are up 9-0 over the Screws. Still 2 outs.
There, Klein made a defensive gaffe at him. He let it get past him. He had his glove on the ground, and it just got through his glove, which allowed Hinderleiter to score from first. That won't be an error. That'll be a hit, but really a defensive miscue allows Hinderleiter to come around and score.
And JT Scara will be taking Taft out of the game, and mercifully so. Rough night for Taft, too. A lot of walks and, fortunately, some timely hits. Nonetheless, we'll come back to the new pitcher in just a moment. We still have 2 outs with a runner on second base here on the Rivets Baseball Network. And we are back. Runner on second base, still not over yet. 2 outs. The Rafters have scored 5 runs this inning, taking the game away, and they're up 9-0. We do have a new pitcher in Matthew Borgman.
Borgman, the righty out of Metro State University, Denver, pitched one inning last night, allowed 1 earned run.
First pitch to lefty Sheekhofer, in there for a strike on the inner third of the plate, 0-1. As you mentioned, Larry, Borgman, another pitcher who pitching yesterday's game. Sierra moving away from his every other day relievers rule. The 0-1. And Tapper to first. Dvorak takes it himself in time, and it mercifully ends a very discouraging inning for the Rivets. So the Rafters score 5 runs on 3 hits and strand 1. They're up 9-0. We'll be right back as we head to the top of the SIF on the Rivets Radio Network. Rafters extended their lead last inning, scoring 5 big ones. They're up 9-0 as we are underway in the top of the 6th. New pitcher in, it's a righty, and Billy Black, and we have some commotion as a lot of fans were yelling. We're not entirely sure. We do know that Billy Black threw it to the backstop, so maybe some fans were scared.
Perhaps. I don't know. You never know with the Cranberry Crazies, I guess. Taking a look at Billy Black's numbers, he's got 8 appearances out of the bullpen for manager Craig Noto in 12 2/3 innings pitched. He has surrendered 13 earned runs. That's good for an ERA of 9.24. He's walked 13 and struck out 11. This is his first appearance against Rockford.
Black has not done too great for the Rafters this season, so it makes sense why manager Craig Noto puts him in, because the Rafters are up by so much. They're up by 9 runs, 9-0. As the top of the 6th is about to get underway. Be 9-1-2, starting out with Simon Dembeck. Black is ready to go, and the first pitch misses upstairs. Have the final line on Nathan Hemmerling. Went 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. The 1-0 misses low and outside. Hemmerling was phenomenal today. It seems as if every time the Rivets come to Witter Field, they encounter a really good starting pitcher.
Rafters have just not lost at home all too often.
2-0. Fastball misses high and away.
Something about Witter Field, man. 18-2. That is really good. Good teams win at home. Great teams win on the road, and I guess
3-0, right down the pipe for strike 1.
I guess the best teams don't lose at home at all. Just 2 losses, one of which was against Wisconsin.
3-1. Swing foul.
If I'm not mistaken, one of those losses was against Wisconsin. The other one was at the hands of Fond du Lac. I'll do a little research.
Their home record is even something the major league teams would drool over. It's quite impressive. On hold, the full count pitch to Dembeck, and it's in there for a strike 3 call to the inside corner. That is a 6th strikeout from Rafters pitching today.
First for Black, and that one was pretty borderline. Dembeck was walking out of the box, probably on his way to first base, but instead he has to divert, as they say in aviation, to the first base dugout.
Batting order will wrap around. First pitch to Jackson Dvorak, posts it out into right field, and the right fielder, Darrell, unable to make the play, keeps it in front of him. So he'll limit Dvorak to a single, and that's just the 3rd hit from the Rivets tonight.
Well, it's something, Adam, and that's what the Rivets need. They just need base runners. You can't make up a 9-run deficit by 1 swing of the bat. So you just got to focus, take it inning by inning, pitch by pitch, and see what happens. At the very least, the Rivets need to get out of town with a few runs.
They would like to win the inning. More on that in a bit. The first pitch to Vondruska misses high and inside. When a team is trailing by a lot, they'll try to win the inning, meaning they'll score more runs than the other team in the inning and slowly but surely try to creep up on the deficit. Vondruska on the day 0 for 2 with a strikeout. They ground to third, the 1-0. Fastball just misses low. Kyle Teal tried to frame that one up, but did not get the call.
Well, Adam, if we're looking at the record in terms of innings tonight, Rivets are 0-3. Lost the first, lost the fourth, and lost the fifth.
The 2-0. That one finds the zone, lower outside corner. And those were some big innings too, Larry. 2 in the first, 2 in the fourth, and 5 in the fifth for the Rafters. Runner on first, 1 out. Rafters up Easily back in time is Dvorak, the leadoff hitter. Dvorak is a threat to go, but has not stolen a base yet. He's been caught stealing twice. Not likely to go in this situation, however, as the Rivets are chasing 9. The 2-1. Big swing and miss on a meatball right down the middle. A mighty hat from Vondruska.
Perhaps thinking ahead there, the Rivets just need more contact. Got to be patient here. Try and get as many pitches out of these bullpen arms as possible. Try and tax them a little bit.
Black comes into the set. The 2-2. Pote the other way. That one will head towards foul. As you mentioned, Larry, the Rivets need base runners, and one of the reasons why Vondruska is in number 2 hole is because Skier has a lot of confidence in him. He can be a really good contact hitter when the Screws need him to be, and they need him here.
They certainly do. They just need something. I've said it a lot this inning, but the Rivets need any sort of momentum they can get.
Black Watson wheels and deals the 2-2. Curveball misses upstairs and almost hits Vondruska in the helmet. Would have been uncomfortable, but a way to get on base. Of course, though, the human reaction to a pitch coming at your head is to duck. We have full count to Vondruska. Black fires and misses low and outside. Way in the dirt and heading towards the bat stop. Teal rushes in a hurry. So runners on first and second with just 1 out in a 9-0 ball game with the Rafters having the lead. Perhaps the Screws can put a couple on the board this inning.
Adam, that at-bat was great from Vondruska. He got down early, fouled off a few pitches, and then Billy Black lost his control on the mound, and now it's perfect lineup construction because there's 2 on for the 3-hitter, Colton Klein, arguably the best pure hitter for the Rockford Rivets. I think he's due. He had a base hit in the first, but still looking for his first RBI.
Larry, although it's not too great of an idea to take stock in batting practice, he was really hitting the ball to all fields so well today, and definitely has opposite field power to all dimensions. First pitch to Klein, swears for bunt, misses low and outside, and both runners will move up 90 feet. How do you like that? That's what the doctor ordered for the Screws, as Black is losing control. Dvorak moves up to third, and Vondruska moves up to second.
Now all you need is a little dink and dunk base hit. The Rivets can score 2, and sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to play mind games, square to bunt. Sometimes that throws pitchers off, and Black has been really off these last few pitches.
Great chance for Klein to come through in the clutch, the 1-0, and finds the inner third at the plate. Not the best catch from Teal, but it is called a strike nonetheless.
Looked like that one was going to be a bit low and inside, like the last miss, but the strike zone has been pretty big, but a bit inconsistent tonight, depending on who you ask, of course.
1-1 from Black. And Pote into for a base into left field. The throw to third. And coming around to score is Jackson Dvorak. Bradley Vondruska did not attempt to go to third base. He stays put at second. So it's the Rivets' first run of the night, an RBI single from Colton Klein.
That's big, and Klein moving down to the 3 spot tonight, and there you see why. Liner the opposite field, nice piece of hitting, just getting contact on it, but Austin Krizik in left field made a great play. He came in, pretended like he was going to make the catch, so Dvorak stopped at third base. Vondruska stopped in his tracks, so Vondruska remains on second base. Dvorak scored, of course, but nice play by Krizik to keep the runners at bay relatively there.
Krizik certainly stopped Vondruska from getting that extra 90 feet. First pitch to the righty Highland. This is low and outside.
Adam, now that Black has really lost his command here, Jack Gonzalez is warming up in the Rafters bullpen. He is a really good left-handed reliever.
He's pitched against the Screws several times. I believe 1 out in relief and 1 as a starter. The 1-0. Low in the dirt again. It really seems like Black is losing control right now. When he finds the strike zone, he is giving up big hits.
Rivets could use another big one here. Highland had a nice base knockback in the 4th. He's been seeing the ball well all summer in his short time in a Rivets uniform. This perhaps could be the biggest spot. The Rivets need to show some fight here.
Highland is one of the better hitters in the Rivets lineup in a hitter's count, the 2-0. And strike hits the outside corner. Not a 2-0 pitch you want to swing at, especially if it's low and away.
And of course, with Black, he's been losing his control. So good patient take there from Highland. You want to make pitchers throw you a strike if they're struggling.
And especially being ahead in the count too. JT Scara talked about he wants his hitters to be selective. So in this case, Highland needs to be selective too. Find one he can drive. 2-1. And that one misses low and outside. That's been Black's miss. Low and outside against these Rivets hitters. Perhaps needs to change things up. Move to a different location. Or missing the breaking ball. The 3-1. Popped up into shallow center field. And right there to make the catch is Richie Schiekhofer for out number 2.
Well, Highland just got underneath that one. Pretty eager to swing away on 3-1, and especially in this situation, who wouldn't be? He tried to really elevate that pitch and just got way too far underneath it. Popped it up above the lights. And now it's up to Cherokee LeBeau. The Rivets really can't afford to waste this situation with 2 runners on.
They have a chance to have a big inning, try to cover some ground and shorten up this deficit. They're down 9-1 with 2 on and 2 out. First pitch to LeBeau. Fastball misses outside. LeBeau is 0 for 2 in the night. Struck out swinging and a ground out to second base. He has struggled. Just 1 hit this season. That fastball misses low. Although he has struggled in the last game against the Wisconsin Woodshots on the Rivets' most recent homestand, had a lot of deep and hard fly balls. And a hitter's count here. Larry, do you think he gets the green light?
I think he does. If he sees a pitch he wants, he will not hesitate to swing.
Blatt settles in the 2-0. Fastball hits the high outside corner.
You want to talk about a guy who's due, it's Cherokee LeBeau. We've talked about his glasses prescriptions. Now he's got those contacts in his eyes with the right prescription. The wrong prescription was really hurting his case. We'll see if he can connect here.
2-1. And Cherokee LeBeau shows off his good eye on that pitch. That's a really great take. Missed low and outside, and Teal tried to frame it, but Cherokee LeBeau did not bite. Finds himself in another hitter's count. Here comes the 3-1. And fastball clips the outside corner.
You want to talk about a great frame. Kyle Teal brought that one back into the zone. It missed a few inches outside, and Teal just really had a nice framing job there.
Up here in the broadcast booth, we do have a great view, and you can even see that glove just snap over to the outer third of the plate. Runners will be going as Blatt steps off. No one is covering second base. Vondruska's off second, Klein off first. Good speed on the base paths. Perhaps an extra base hit could score 2. Rivets in dire need of that. Blatt calms down, takes a breather, the 3-2, and misses low. Very nice walk from LeBeau. Shows a great eye as the bases are juiced.
Here we go. Rivets hitters being patient. This is what they need. A base knock from Brian Sturdivant here would be huge, but also stranding the bases loaded would be a gut punch. It looks like Craig Noto is going to take the ball from Billy Black.
Rivets certainly have a great opportunity. Noto having a word with Black.
Is he going to keep him in?
It's
I
a
don't
long
know.
talk. It looks like he signaled beforehand. And Black is out of the ball game. So we will get you a new pitcher. We believe it's Jack Gonzalez. It's not Jack Gonzalez anymore. It's another pitcher. But nonetheless, it's a 9-1 ball game. Bases loaded, 2 outs. We'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. Bases are loaded for the Screws here in the top of the 6th with 2 outs. Rafters will try to cool them off, limit them from having a big inning with Ethan Peters.
Ethan Peters, the left-handed, long and lanky arm out of Loras College. The Dewhawk is a sophomore, native of Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Stands at 6'1", 161 pounds.
He will be facing off against Brian Sturdivant after he's finished with his warm-up pitches. For the Screws, Bradley Von Druskoff third, Colton Kleinoff second, and Cherokee LeBeau off first. So good speed on the bases. And the Screws, as we have mentioned earlier on, have just averaged 1.4 runs per game. So they are looking to end that lack of runs scored and try to get a big hit right here. Sturdivant is due. He is 0 for 12 to start the season as he makes his way into the batter's box, sporting some black batting gloves with a black helmet. Left on right matchup. Sturdivant is a right-handed hitter. And the first pitch from Peters is in there for a strike on the outside corner. Sturdivant is 0 for 2 in the night. Line out to third and a fly out to right field. Slow windup from Peters. As the breaking ball misses outside, Teal does not get the call.
Brief snapshot, I should say, of Peters' numbers at Loras last year. In 2019, he appeared in 9 games, pitched to a 6.35 ERA, 17 strikeouts, and a 1.82 whip.
Like a strikeout here, the 1-1. And ball in the dirt, nice block from Teal. Keeping all 3 runners right where they are. Still a lot of ball game left, even though the Screws are trailing by 8. Pivotal moment in the ball game. The 2-1. And poked into right field over the first baseman's head. Garriella throws it in. And the throw home is offline. So that is a 2-run single for Brian Sturdivant. As Von Druska and Klein come around to score. And moving on to third is LeBeau. Big hit for the Screws.
Clutch up Brian Sturdivant. The Rivets needed that. They could not afford to leave the bases loaded. They get 2 more runs. That was huge. Sturdivant just took the pitch. He saw it on the opposite side of the plate, a bit down the middle. Took it the opposite way. That's what you're taught to do with runners in scoring position. That allowed 2 runners to score. The Rivets are in business. This game is not over yet, folks.
It is not over yet, and we do have a pinch hitter too, as Breck Nowick steps up to the plate. Nowick is replacing Sam Vomhoff, and we got to chat to Nowick earlier in the day, as this will be a left-on-right matchup. He really likes to put the ball in play, has good contact skills. Line drive hitter. He takes a fastball that just missed off the inside corner. He even mentioned, I know I'm not going to hit one out, so I just like to square one up to all fields, and the Rivets could use that right now with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Tapper to third. It's a fair ball. Actually, it's a foul ball. Maybe it fouled off his foot. Sepulveda is a little confused, but...
Yeah, I think it was off his foot, Adam. It looks like Nowick was limping around a little bit, but Craig Noto, not a fan of the call. He'll come out to discuss. But I think one of 2 things happened there. Nowick fouled it off his foot, or Sepulveda stepped on the line when he was fielding it, but that shouldn't matter. So I think he got a piece of Nowick's foot, but Noto doesn't think so.
So it will be a foul ball. Nowick and the Screws perhaps catching a break there. LeBeau off third, Sturdivant off first, 1-1 count. Ethan Peters, the left-hand reliever, on the mound. Slow from the stretch and misses upstairs. It would be risky for the Rivets to run right now, especially since they're trailing 9-3. But Peters has a very slow from the stretch. And Lace just foul. Almost hit the runner, LeBeau. Pulled off some nice dance moves to jiggle out of the way of the ball.
Oh, my goodness. He had to jump out of the way of that one, and he backpedaled his way almost halfway to the mound. I'm sure he's going to give Nowick good ribbing about that one in the dugout.
He almost did some karaoke down the third base line and said it'll be a 2-2 count. Deep breath from Peters, the 2-2. And Nowick gets a piece of that one. Big swing, and he luckily got a piece of it to stay alive.
Nowick has shown us good battles time and time again. Doesn't have a ton to show for it, though. But he has looked good in his first experiences facing collegiate pitching.
He's a talented high school senior. The 2-2 misses upstairs. Black and Peters have been a bit wild, to say the least. Definitely have run themselves deep in the counts. Could also be credit to Rivets hitters being more patient tonight. Sturdivant will be off first. And here comes the payoff pitch. Slow curveball and misses upstairs. So the Rivets will continue this inning. A nice walk from the pinch hitter, Brett Nowick.
And the Rivets continue to put up good at-bats. Great maturity there from the high school senior. He saw a few strikes early on, battled, fouled pitches off. He saw pitches he wanted to hit early in the count, fouled them off, and ended up drawing a walk as Peters continues to lose control. Bases are loaded again. Again, Rivets can't afford to leave them loaded. Opportunities like this don't come every day against the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters.
Bases juiced, 2 outs. The first pitch to Olson, and a swing and a miss. Looks like he pulled his head out there, trying to cut down the deficit as the Screws are trailing by 6. The 0-1 from Peters. And poked foul behind home plate and out of play. Peters is quickly ahead. And Olsen needs to choke up on the bat and be tough. Rivets need to continue to capitalize on this situation. LeBeau off third, Sturdivant off second, and Nowick off first. The pitch, and a swing and a miss. Peters retires him on 3 straight pitches. And that is a big strikeout for the Rapids Rafters. However, the Rivets do score 3 runs this inning as they're trying to claw back their win the game. Rafters are up 9-3. As we head into the bottom of the 6th, we'll be right back on Rivets Radio Network. The Rivets offense finally woke up in the top of the 6th. They scored 3 runs and are chasing the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters 9-3. Back out there is Matthew Borgman, who came in last inning in the 5th. As we're about to get the bottom of the 6th underway. 2-3-4. DeCochea up at the plate. And here comes the first pitch. Curveball misses inside.
Adam, we were talking about winning the inning in a comeback like this. It is so key. Rivets did their part in the top half. Now it's up to the pitching. If they can string together little rallies like that the rest of the way, they've got a chance.
1-0 from Borgman. And a strike on the outside corner. Borgman did a good job retiring the last hitter of the 5th, hoping to have a scoreless clean frame here. And, of course, win that inning. Something the Rivets desperately need if they are trying to come back in this game. The 1-1 misses low. DeCochea on the night. He is 1 for 3. A single to center field into a fielder's choice and was caught stealing and is flown out to center field. Long hold from Borgman. He gets a sign. Here comes the 2-1 and misses high and outside. It is crucial that Borgman does not allow the leadoff runner on. It can really set the tone for a good frame, which the Rivets need. The bullpen needs it especially, too. Borgman certainly takes his time to the plate now, wheels and deals the 3-1, and just missed low. Borderline call as DeCochea works himself a leadoff walk.
There are those walks. You don't want to start the inning with a walk, especially moving into the heart of the order. It's been almost the same story every inning for the Rivets. Jacob Taft walked a lot of batters in his 2/3 innings of work, and those really came back to bite the Rivets, and they could prove to be the difference in this one.
First pitch to Wallstad, misses low. And Larry, you could be right. That was 3 walks in the 5th, and all those runners and then some came around to score. All 5 runs last inning were on Taft. The 1-0, and a strike is in there on the outside corner.
If you're Borgman here, you don't need a strikeout, just pitch to contact. See what happens. Double play ball would be big. Keep the momentum in the Rivets' favor.
Middle infield in double play position. Third baseman Phil Highland closer to the bag. And the 1-1 misses low. Curveball just could not find the strike zone. Highland almost looks as if he is playing for the bunt, even with the bag and even creeping towards the grass. Borgman deals a 2-1 and cannot find the outside corner. Rivets have allowed 6 walks this game and 4 from the bullpen. As mentioned earlier, the bullpen has struggled more than the starters. Although Venditti did not have his best performance, he kept the Screws within the ball game. The bullpen has since unraveled. 3-1, and Lace through the hole into right field. It's a base hit for Ryan Wallstad. Stopping at second is Deco Chea. And once again, the Rafters taking full advantage of Rivets pitching. So 2 runners on. As mentioned, Deco Chea off second, Wallstad off first. No one out. A 9-3 Wisconsin Rafters lead.
Now, if you're Borgman, you got to be even more careful. You can't give up a mistake pitch to Garriola and then really put the game out of reach.
Needs to find a way to have a shutdown inning. Facing off against the righty Garriola, the first pitch. And driven deep into center field. That one has some carry. And off the base of the wall. And here comes the throw in. Actually, no throw in from Breck Nowick, who probably maybe had a chance at getting out Deco Chea off the plate. Instead, it'll be an RBI double for Garriola. Moving on to third is Wallstad. And now the Rafters take a 10-3 lead.
There they get one back, and the Rivets are in danger of not winning the inning. And Borgman just gave up a cookie there, and Garriola did not pass up the opportunity. He sliced that one through a wind that has been blowing in all night from right field. Hit it right off the base of the wall. We thought that had a chance to get out of here in a shallow center field.
Really had to wait and see. Luckily, did not get over the center field fence. First pitch to Zeisler, just misses low. Borgman not happy with himself, getting the ball quickly, ready to go. Pitching from the windup. Long hold. Often tapped it to try to distract the hitter. Now he gets his sign. Zeisler ready, the 1-0. Misses low in the dirt, and this gets by Olsen. So Wallstad comes around to score, and Garriola moves up to third. Bullpen keeps unraveling. 2 runs have scored this inning already, as the Rafters take an 11-3 lead over the Screws.
There, coming home to score was Wallstad, Adam. And on that double from Garriola, Wallstad was right on the tail of Deco Chea. And that allowed Wallstad to stay at second for the Rivets, but now they can't capitalize on that, and coming home to score anyways was Wallstad.
Borgman still pitching from the stretch at 2-0. High pop-up, shallow left field. Servant makes the catch, makes the throw home offline, and it gets by Olsen. He cannot handle it and goes into the dugout. So a pretty routine fly ball that was not supposed to allow a run to score. It is enough as Garriola comes around So with one out, the Rafters now take a 12-3 lead.
Adam, looks like that play is going to be scored as a sack fly, no error. It really was on the throwing error from Brian Sturdivant out there in left field. Kind of airmailed that one. Should have just thrown it back into the cutoff man. Instead threw it to Olson. It wasn't even close.
First pitch to Sepulveda. Breaking ball misses upstairs. If you're going to make the throw home, Larry, you got to make sure it's on a line and
low.
Not enough. And low, exactly.
That thing just sailed.
You got to think ahead when you're down by this much. Runners won't be too aggressive. The 1-0. Sepulveda takes upstairs.
And what do you know, Adam? The inning is tied at 3 apiece. And the Rivets squander a nice top half.
Rafters do have a 9-run lead yet again, as that ball is poked off to the right side and out of play. Sepulveda has struck out twice tonight, has a walk and a run scored. Just one out as the Rafters are up 12-3 over the Screws. Borgman taking his time, now deals the 2-1. Fastball in the dirt. Once again, it seems like many relievers out of the Rivets bullpen are unable to figure out opposing hitters. That has been the case for Taft and for Borgman tonight. 3-1. And breaking ball misses low and outside. So it's been 2 hits and now the second walk for Borgman tonight.
That starts the line once again. If you're a pitcher, sometimes you just got to take your medicine when you surrender a 3-run rally like Borgman did at the beginning of his inning. But he had the bases empty there, but then it all starts over again with a walk. And if you remember, this inning started with a leadoff walk to Jason DiCoccheo.
It's said that leadoff walks score around 50% of the time in the majors. It's probably even more in the Northwoods League, considering it's amateur baseball. In steps Kyle Teal, the left-handed high school senior going to Virginia. Ball in the dirt, and Olson's throw down to second is not in time. So Sepulveda advances to second base. Once again, the Rafters are not letting up. They have a runner in scoring position. And it seems as if everything is going wrong for the Screws. Not everything. They're hitting better tonight, but it's certainly frustrating that their offense has woken up. Their starting pitcher kept them in the ball game. But once again, it's the bullpen. They're just bringing things wide open for the opposing team. The 1-0 from Borgman. And that ball was poked down the center field, and that one will drop down for a base hit. Klein fires into the cutoff man, and the throw to home is offline. So it's an RBI single for Kyle Teal. Coming around to score is Christian Sepulveda. And now the Rafters have officially won this inning, and they're up 13-3 with just one out.
Just when you think you had them. It's tough for the Rivets in this inning because you thought you had them. And all of a sudden, the Rafters just keep on coming. And this offense is relentless. The Rockford bullpen has been bad. And just like that, the lead has burgeoned to 10.
Not the best appearance from Borgman, to say the least. He gives up 4 runs. The Rafters are up 13-3. We'll be back with the new relief pitcher on the Rivets Radio Network. Once again, the Rivets will call upon a new reliever in Ross Thompson. He comes in with a runner on first base, with one out, and the Rafters having a 13-3 lead over the Rivets.
4 runs in the bottom half of the 6th frame, and Thompson, the redshirt junior from Heidelberg University, Wadsworth native, is a right-hander, has pitched 1 inning, scoreless against the Wisconsin Woodchucks on August 12th.
The Screws are hoping he can stop the Rafters right here. They need some length out of him. He was perhaps the next day's starter, but instead he'll be pitching today. They need some length, and that's probably one of the reasons why they are turning to him. Not a lot of options out of the bullpen, and the Rivets bullpen needing some length. First pitch to Hinderleiter, misses upstairs, 1-0. Hinderleiter is 2 for 3 in the day with an RBI single. Here comes the 1-0 from Thompson. A big swing and a miss. Peppered that inside fastball, and Hinderleiter was no match for it.
Adam Thompson has been really effective out of the bullpen. In his one appearance, he was impressive, 2 strikeouts. Rivets need more of that.
The 1-1 in there for a strike. He's looking sharp so far, peppering the strike zone. And, of course, this might not be a game that the Rivets can win. Still some time for baseball. Always tough when you're down by 10 runs. But at the very least, if they can hope that Thompson can finish off the game. 1-2 to Hinderleiter, and a tapper up the middle. And LeBeau takes himself and in time for a 4-4-3 double play. A bit too late, though, however, for the Screws as 4 runs come across for the Rafters. They're up 13-3 as we head to top the 7th. We'll be right back on the Rivets Baseball Network. The 6th frame was pretty wild for the Rivets. They scored 3 runs in the top half, but then the Rafters returned the favor with 4 runs of their own. So as the Rivets trail 13-3 as we head into the 7th, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The Booyah are ahead over the Loggers 3-2 at Capital Credit Union Park. And the Wisconsin Woodchucks are ahead 6-4 over the Dot Spiders at Here Baker Field. Now to finish it off, here's Larry Larson.
Thank you, Adam. Great work as always. Rivets down by 10, 13-3, starting the top half of the 7th here at Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. A beautiful ballpark. Rivets will send up 9-1-2 in the order, starting with Simon Dembeck, Jackson Dvorak, and Bradley Vondruska. To follow. Vondruska, that is. Simon Dembeck is 0 for 1. with a swinging strikeout and a walk. He was stranded on third base in the third inning. The Rivets have stranded 5 runners on. Ethan Peters back out for another inning of work, delivers the first pitch, has popped into right field, tailing away from Andy Garriola. He dives and comes up well short of that one, but you got to respect the hustle. And that is a busy first strike on Simon Dembeck.
Garriola went all out in right field, diving in foul territory, even though he wasn't too close to the ball. He is known for his bat, but he's also known for his defense, and even in a lopsided game, still giving it 100% out there.
0-1 to Dembeck. Called strike on the outer half of the plate from the lefty Peters. A native of Wisconsin Rapids. That's got to be cool, pitching for your hometown team. He works from the windup and fires the 0-2. Curveball right down the middle, and Dembeck watches it for a called strike 3. That's Peters' second strikeout. He struck out Hunter Olson to end the 6th inning with the bases loaded. That turns over the Rockford lineup to the top spot. Jackson Dvorak steps up. He's 1 for 3.
That was a nasty curveball from Ethan Peters. Great 12-6 action, and Dembeck was left frozen. Could not do anything about it.
First pitch to Dvorak, line to second base and caught by Jason DiCochea, ranging to his left, taking away a base hit from Jackson Dvorak. And there's quickly 2 away in the top half of the 7th. Rockford down 13-3 to Wisconsin Rapids. Now it's up to Bradley Vondruska, who has reached and scored once. That came back in the 6th inning on a walk. Peters with a slow windup and delivers the first pitch, swung on and missed. On a fastball upstairs, and it's 0-1.
Vondruska had a really good at-bat last inning. Pivotal walk that helped the Rivets finally break out of a slump and score 3 runs.
Peters has his sign, side steps on the rubber, slow leg kick, and delivers the 0-1. Breaking ball misses inside near the feet of Vondruska, and it's back even at 1-1. And Adam, hometown kids, a common theme between these two ball clubs. Number of them on the Rivets as the 1-1 misses outside on a fastball. Vondruska is ahead now 2-1. Kyle Hamilton, Justin Carestis, Jake Kleekamp, Jacob Taft, all guys from the Rockford area on the Rivets. Peters kicks and fires the 2-1 inside again, that time with the fastball, and it's 3-1. It's got to be a cool experience. Big crowd tonight at Whitterfield. Grandstands dotted with fans. One big main grandstand around home plate. Here comes the 3-1, fouled straight back, and now it's full. And then there is one other seating area down the third base line called the Rat Trap, elevated seating deck area with also patio seats underneath. It's pretty full tonight.
It always seems like Whitterfield has sold out crowds.
Here's the payoff from Peters to Vondruska, fouled off, we'll do it again. For Peters, I'm sure he grew up coming to games here in Wisconsin Rapids, as do a lot of local kids. Nothing like a good baseball game on a beautiful summer evening. Here's another 3-2. And again, fouled off, this time down the left side. Vondruska was out in front.
Larry, as you mentioned, such a unique experience for these local kids to be playing for such a good summer league team. Many of them have been to this team's homes games growing up, and now he gets to play for them.
Here's yet another payoff pitch. This one grounded in fair territory to Christian Sepulveda at third base, who scoops it up and throws on to first in time to beat Vondruska. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Wisconsin Rapids native Ethan Peters, and the Rivets are set down. It's stretch time from Wisconsin Rapids. It's Rafters 13, Rivets 3 on the Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to Wisconsin Rapids. Rivets down by 10, 13-3 to the Rafters. Looks like a 7-game losing streak will likely be extended. And JT Scara calls the Rivets bullpen once again for the 4th time tonight and hands the ball to Jordan Rodriguez.
Jordan Rodriguez looking to change things around for the Rivets bullpen. Perhaps toss an inning or two. Made his debut for the Rivets the other day.
Delivers the first pitch to the 9-hitter Austin Krizik. And it's in for a called strike on a fastball in the outer half. Rodriguez, the lefty from Purdue Northwest. Lefty against righty here. Sets above the letters, kicks and deals. Fastball misses high and away, and it's back even at 1-1. Krizik has reached twice. He's 1 for 2. An RBI single back in the 5th, a walk, and a fly out to center field. Rodriguez sets and delivers the 1-1. It misses downstairs with a fastball, and it's 2-1.
Larry, Jordan's had quite the 2020 year. Only threw a couple innings this season, both of them scoreless.
2-1, drilled down the left field line, but hooking foul, and it hits a chair in the Wisconsin Rapids bullpen. Nobody is harmed except said aluminum chair, and it's 2-2.
And Rodriguez also has a scoreless inning in the Northwoods League. So 3 scoreless innings this year, only 3 innings pitched, but he's been effective.
Looks in for the sign from Hunter Olson. He's got it and delivers the 2-2. It's popped up on the infield, going foul. Hunter Olson, the catcher, reaches up and he can't make the play. It's out of his reach, and it glanced him, it looks like, but he is okay. Phil Highland came in from third base to try and make the play, lost his hat and sunglasses. And we will do the 2-2 over again.
Larry, even though the Rivets have not committed an error on the scoreboard tonight, they've had their fair share of defensive miscues, and that's a miscue from both Highland and Olson for that matter. It's not been a clean night.
So Krizik has another life. Here's another 2-2. Chopper to shortstop. Breck Nowick fields and throws in time. Nice stretch from Jackson Dvorak at first base to get a hustling Krizik. Score at 6-3. There's one away in the bottom half of the 7th. It's 13-3 Wisconsin Rapids over Rockford.
Nowick, of course, coming into the game and playing shortstop after pinch hitting for Sam Vomhoff in the 6th inning. And talk about hard-throwing shortstops. Vomhoff and Nowick both have great arms, and we got to see that. Hear the pop of the first baseman's glove. That strong throw from Nowick.
Now there's a pinch hitter for Richie Schieckhofer at the top of the order. It's Parker Nolan. He fouls the first pitch off the net. Fouls it straight back. Nolan, the sophomore from Davidson, stands at 6'4", 220, the right-handed batter. Just 2 for his last 15. Last night, he was 0 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. It's back even at 1-1. Nolan, not to be confused with Parker Noland, outfielder for Fond du Lac. It's the 1-1 is popped up down the right side. Dvorak gives chase and watches it bounce off an aluminum roof on a standing room area, just past the Rockford dugout down the first base line. And it's 1-2.
Larry, this is Rodriguez's just 2nd appearance for the Screws, and last time out in yesterday's ball game, he threw a lot of strikes. Clean, scoreless inning. He's doing that tonight as well.
Here's the 1-2. Fastball hit his spot, but misses outside. A bit off the plate. Some people expected the call, but now the count is back even at 2 apiece. Here's the 2-2. Misses high and away, and it's full. And Adam, I want to talk about Jordan's season this summer. It's been whirlwind. When the Rivets needed players, Of course, Jordan was very familiar with the situation as he worked for the Rivets all summer. Here's the payoff pitch. Popped up and fouled over the screen, over the grandstand, and well out of play. We'll do the 3-2 over again. But he worked with us very closely. He was our cameraman. One of them also worked as a director and producer. When he heard the Rivets needed arms, talked to Chad Bauer, the GM, and got himself an opportunity. As he delivers another payoff pitch, and it's another foul ball from Parker Nolan.
Larry, I almost got to see how the sausage got made. He was very giddy about it. He knew he had a chance to play. And with a lot of these players being D3 and JUCO, he's a D2 player himself and knew he had a shot with these new screws and talked to Chad. He got the job, had a uniform the next day.
Another payoff. It's a foul ball down the right side and out of play again. How about this battle between Rodriguez and Nolan? And Adam, you're talking about Rodriguez. He was staying loose. He knew that, maybe this opportunity would present itself. He was only tossing with one of his friends over the summer and otherwise just spending it as an intern with the Rivets. And now he is a Rockford Rivet. Not often you see that. Here's another 3-2. Breaking ball down the middle, taken for strike 3 as Rodriguez puts away Nolan for the second out of the bottom of the 7th inning. Rivets still down 10, but Rodriguez doing a good job out of the bullpen so far.
Larry, I'm a little surprised that Rodriguez doesn't ask to keep that baseball. Gets his first strikeout as a Rockford Rivet in a season where he's seen himself in the broadcaster role, the camera role, the director role, and now as a pitcher for the Screws.
Somebody go get that baseball as Jason DiCochea steps to the plate and takes a fastball low and in. It's 1-0. DiCochea has reached 3 times tonight. 1 on a single, 1 on a fielder's choice, and 1 on a walk. He scored once and flew out to center field. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses outside at the letters, and it's 2-0. And Adam Jordan's pitching style doesn't have the hardest velocity, but he has been very good right around the zone, and he's got that slow breaking ball. I was talking to Jake Kleekamp about it before the game. The 2-0 is on the way. It's lined into center field. Colton Klein ranges to his left, dives and makes the catch. It was an awkward one, but he's okay, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. It's a 1-2-3 frame for Jordan Rodriguez, and the score remains Wisconsin Rapids 13, Rockford 3. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. Welcome back to Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, where the Rafters are on top of the Rockford Rivets by a score of 13-3. The Rivets squandering a few opportunities tonight, but their pitching again has been a problem, surrendering 5 runs back in the 5th inning and 4 runs in the 6th to really allow the Rafters to break it open. Rivets sliding on a 7-game losing streak, whereas Rafters are riding a 5-game winning streak. However, Rivets still in a playoff race as Colton Klein steps in the left-handed batter's box, lefty against lefty, and he takes a fastball inside. Ethan Peters back out for another inning of work. And Adam, we've done some scoreboard watching here, and I hear that you've got some news for us as time is called before the 1-0 to Klein.
Larry, I do have some news for you. The Booyah were originally up 3-2 over the Loggers, but the Loggers now have a tie ball game at the top of the ninth.
1-0 on the way and taken upstairs. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. And, of course, that score matters for the Rockford Rivets as the Screws are half a game behind the Green Bay Booyah as the 2-0's taken downstairs, and it's 3-0 on the 3-hitter Klein. The Rivets half a game behind Green Bay for the final playoff spot in the Wisconsin-Illinois East. Peters kicks and deals the 3-0 and delivers a strike. Fastball down the middle. Adam, so despite the Rivets' struggles, which have been mighty as of late, they are still very much in this playoff race. Peters working from the far right side of the rubber from the windup and fires the 3-1. Slapped the opposite way and down for a base hit into left field. That's near the line. Over to field it is Krizik. Klein takes a big turn about halfway towards second base and retreats to the bag. It's a leadoff single for the Carthage College center fielder and quarterback.
Larry, we mentioned how good Colton Klein can be driving the ball to all fields. Scouts love him. He has 3 hits on the night. He's really become a key clog in the Rivets lineup.
So now it's the cleanup batter, Phil Highland, with a man on. Rivets down by 10. Top half of the 8th. Ethan Peters working from the stretch now, sets at the belt, takes a deep breath, fires the first pitch. Breaking ball that misses inside to Highland, the third baseman, is 1 for 3 tonight with a single that came back in the 4th. Adam, a playoff race can really keep a team like the Rivets engaged. Despite their struggles, they still have ball games that are very meaningful as Peters steps off and throws to Klein, and the throw gets away. So Klein moves up 90 feet, now off second base. Thought about going towards third, but holds up there, and now there's a man in scoring position.
It's the first error from either side tonight. And even though the Rivets are trailing 10, and they may not win this ball game, it'd be nice if they can go down fighting, perhaps take that momentum into the next and last 4-game homestand.
I was talking to a few players before the game, and they said, you know what, every day's a new day, and we're still very much in this, so it's fun to be at the ballpark every day. That's not something you can always say during a 7-game losing streak, as the 1-0 is taken for a strike to Highland. Fastball that caught the outer corner of home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike now.
Just to talk a little bit more about playoffs, Green Bay has lost 5 straight. In fact, the last time they won the game was when they swept the Rivets.
Peters takes a breath and fires the 1-1. Drilled into left center field. Giving chase is Schieckhofer. He reaches up and makes the play. Tagging from second base is Klein, and he slides in safely to third base. A loud, productive out for Highland. Gives Klein another 90 feet, and the Rivets have a run 90 feet away now. Here in the top half of the 8th, Rivets down by 10. And there is a pinch hitter for Cherokee LeBeau. It's Sam Beers.
Larry, that was quite the play from the Rafters center fielder. That ball had gap double written all over it. The center fielder chased it down and made a spectacular grab. Didn't do anything special by diving or anything, but just covered a lot of ground in a little amount of time.
There's the first pitch from Peters to Beers. Swung on and fouled down the right side, out of the stadium, much to the dismay of all young fans waiting for foul balls. And it's 0-1 on the sophomore from Concordia, Wisconsin. Peters back to work quickly, fires the 0-1, and it's again fouled off, a screamer down the right side out of play. Beers has been behind on back-to-back pitches, and it's 0-2. Klein on third base for Beers. Has batted as the DH the last few games for Rockford, was 0 for 4 last night. Here's the 0-2 pitch, a breaking ball that wasn't even close, missing outside to the righty.
Larry didn't announce this earlier, but the new center fielder is Parker Nolan. It's a straight switch between Sheekhofer and Nolan. When Nolan pinch hit for him, the top half of the frame.
The 1-2 lined right back into center field. This time Nolan comes in and makes the play. Tagging from third base is Klein, and he will score safely as the throw was well offline. So it's a sac fly for Sam Beers here in the 8th, and our new score is 13-4 in favor of Wisconsin Rapids.
Sam Beers has been a productive hitter for the Rivets. One of a few players who has net extra base hits this season for the Screws since the restart, and also getting in a sac fly, his first plate appearance in this ballgame.
So now there's 2 outs and nobody on for Brian Sturdivant. The first pitch is a fastball that misses low. 1-0 on the UW Whitewater Warhawk. Peters right back to work, kicks and deals the 1-0. Chopper to Hopper to third base. Christian Sepulveda charges, fields, and throws in time to retire Brian Sturdivant. So the Rivets score 1 run on a sac fly from Sam Beers that scored Colton Klein. And your new score is Wisconsin Rapids 13, Rivets 4 after 7.5. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. Okay, welcome back to Wisconsin Rapids. Rivets down by 9, 13-4 ball game in favor of the Rafters. Defensive changes. Simon Dembeck moves in from right field to pitch. Adam, give us the details on him while we get everything else straightened out.
Dembeck is a two-way player, and there's a lot of two-way players on the Screws, including Sam Vomhoff and Noah DeLuga has even expressed interest in being a two-way player. It'll be interesting to see if he comes out and hits this season. Dembeck has thrown 1 inning this season in 1 appearance. Gave up 5 earned runs, 5 hits, 1 strikeout. So struggled last time up.
Move to the bottom of the 8th. Dembeck works from the windup and fires the first pitch. It's driven well into right field. That's got trouble written all over it. Diving and making the catch out in right field. is Brian Sturdivant, moving from left to right field as a sub. And how about that for a first play out and right tonight? A loud first out in the bottom of the 8th.
That was a heck of a play from Sturdivant. He's really settled in as a nice outfielder for the Screws and a great hitter too, showcasing the glovemanship on that nice play.
Here's the first pitch to Andy Garriola. Curveball misses low and away to the big right-handed batter. Garriola has scored 3 times tonight with a single and an RBI double that came back in the 6th. 1-0. Foul ball off the mask of the new catcher, Austin Robinson. So JT Scara making all sorts of defensive substitutions. And it's 1-1 on Garriola. Dembeck kicks and fires the 1-1. Slow breaking ball popped up to the left side, in play right now, tailing foul, and it comes back fair, and Highland can't make the catch. It's behind his head. He ran to the warning track and tried to lean back to make the play, and could not. So the new left fielder is Colton Klein, who got moved over from center field to play left. And so now the only piece of the puzzle that remains is who's playing center field. We'll work on it. We'll get you an answer soon. 1-2 from Dembeck to Garriola. Line to shortstop, charging is Nowick. He can't field on the short hop, and it's knocked down harmlessly on the infield. But it's a base runner for Wisconsin Rapids here. Will it be an error? Yes, it will be. The first error of the night for Rockford is charged to Breck Nowick, and Garriola is aboard with 1 out. Bottom half of the 8th. Rafters up 13-4 on Rockford.
Well, the Screws have had a lot of defensive miscues tonight, having trouble with pop-ups, having trouble in the outfield, just making some mental errors, and now they actually have their first error on the board. 8 straight games with an error.
Here's the first pitch to Brandon Brewer, a pinch hitter. It's a curveball taken on the inside part of the zone for a strike. Brewer, the freshman from Schoolcraft College, had a walk last night in a pinch hit appearance. Here's the 0-1. Fastball misses low and in, and it's 1-1. Brewer in 8 games this spring at Schoolcraft, a junior college. Hit .333. Dembeck steps off and throws over to check on Garriola, who's back standing. Brewer pinch hits for Zeisler, the DH. 1-1 misses outside to him. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Dembeck, in his first relief appearance that Adam mentioned, really got rocked in Fond du Lac. Allowed a big home run. 2-1, popped up to the right side. Coming out is Hamilton. He makes the play behind the first base bag. He called off Jackson Dvorak. And now there's 2 away. And it's up to Christian Sepulveda here in the home half of the 8th.
So far, Dembeck is having a much better outing than last time against Fond du Lac when he had 5 earned runs in just an inning. Looking pretty sharp tonight. Probably should have already had 3 outs to begin with, but still doing a good job against these Rafters hitters.
Adam, this just in, playing center field for Rockford now is Troy Tucci. So he figured it out as the first pitch is in there for a called strike to Christian Sepulveda, who has 2 walks and 2 strikeouts and 2 runs scored. Dembeck comes set at the belt and fires the 0-1. Fastball misses inside. One thing that really concerns me with all these defensive substitutions, Adam, something that we've run into at home, is the scoring system. Seamus Kreider brought that up, our official scorer sitting to his right tonight. It's the 1-1. It's fouled off, out of play, and it's 1-2. The scoring system has trouble with defensive substitutions. and it freezes up whenever there is any sort of defensive substitution. There have been a plethora of them here in the home half of the 8th. Everybody moving around all around the diamond, so you gotta hope it works. 1-2, fastball misses outside as Austin Robinson, the catcher, shrugs as if to say, oh, you were close to your spot, Simon. And now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner on first.
Larry, have you ever played Where's Waldo?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what it was kind of like trying to find these outfitters. And just to make light of it, Colton Klein in left, Troy Tucci in center, Brian Sturdivant in right, Brett Nowick at shortstop.
2-2 swung on and missed. That's the 3rd strikeout of the evening for Sepulveda and the 1st of the night for Simon Dembeck. So the Rapids Rafters strand Garriola on first base, and Dembeck works a scoreless 8th inning. It's the last chance for the Rockford Rivets coming up in the top half of the 9th. You're listening to Rockford Rivets Baseball. Welcome back to Witter Field. The Rivets are down by 9 coming up for their last ups in the top half of the 9th. They will face a new pitcher for Wisconsin Rapids. Adam, tell us about him.
Donovan Brandel is making his 2nd appearance for the Rapids Rafters as he looks to shut the door. So Rafters have a 9-run lead over the Screws. His last time out, he threw a scoreless inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts, and also got the win in a 10-7 victory over the Wisconsin Woodchucks.
Brandel, the freshman from UW-Whitewater, may face a few of his teammates here if he gets in trouble. But if all goes to plan, he'll only face the lower third, starting with Breck Nowick. Here's the first pitch to the Rockford shortstop. Big swing and a miss. And it's quickly 0-1, much to the delight of the fans here at Witter Field. They've been loyal, sticking around for a 9-run deficit in favor of the home team. 0-1. Breaking ball taken right down the middle. And it's 0-2. Nowick, pinch hit for Sam Vomhoff in the 6th and drew a walk. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed. And that is strike 3. Nowick is down on strikes. To start the top half of the 9th, the Rivets down by 9, but now they need to rally with 1 away.
Larry, coming into the game, Brandel looks very sharp, and this could be a relatively easy inning for him. A lot of subs in for the Screws.
Another sub, Austin Robinson, takes a fastball high above the letters. And it's 1-0. Robinson subbed in behind the plate for Hunter Olson last inning. now getting his first plate appearance here. Holds the bat on his shoulder with white batting gloves and watches the 1-0 pitch find the zone with the fastball from Brandel, and it's 1-1. Robinson, the sophomore from Milwaukee Area Technical College. Brandel working from the stretch and delivers the 1-1 inside. It's 2-1.
Several players from Milwaukee Area Tech that have played for the Rivets tonight, including Bradley Vondruska and also Simon Dembeck.
2-1 to the Stormer, fouled straight back. And now it's 2-2 on Austin Robinson. Robinson so far this year is 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. His brother Jaron played at Murray State and is a record holder in a number of categories, really one of the all-time great racer baseball players. As time is called before the 2-2 pitch from Brandel. And we'll do it over. And talking with Robinson, he said his brother really was a great college baseball player, but didn't get a shot in pro ball, or at least when it came to affiliated ball. 2-2, fastball taken for strike 3. Fastball paints the outside corner, and the Rivets are down to their final out.
Brandel has made quick work of these Rivets hitters. That is the 10th strikeout of the night for the Screws, as they're just 1 out away from their 8th straight loss.
Simon Dembeck will bat for himself. First pitch. Fastball taken a bit outside. It looked to be over the plate, so perhaps high from our perspective. Dembeck is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled off down the right side on the ground, and it's 1-1. The Rivets will likely drop their 8th straight. They have not won a game since coming back from a 6-day coronavirus hiatus. Wisconsin Rapids will win their 6th straight as the 1-1 is popped up to the right side, tailing out of play, and the Rivets are down to their final strike. Rivets in a playoff race, but they just have not been able to find a victory here. They've showed some fight, showed a little bit tonight. Here's the 1-2. Fastball misses high and away. Rivets live for another pitch as it's 2-2 on Simon Dembeck, looking for his 2nd hit as a Rockford Rivet. Sports 1 batting glove on his left hand and takes a fastball low and away as you hear the crowd starting to make some noise, and now the count is full.
Rafters fans faithful, banging the seats, stomping on the ground. They're ready to go.
Brandel sets for the 3-2. It's a jam shot into shallow right. Ranging out is the second baseman, Jason DiCochea, and he makes the play, and the ball game is over. That's 6 straight wins for the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters, who remain the best team in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod and pick up their 30th win of the season. It's been another good one for manager Craig Noto and company. As for JT Scara and the Rockford Rivets, they drop their 8th straight and fall to 14-23. Adam, the story tonight, rough pitching out of the bullpen, and the offense being shut down by great arms from Wisconsin Rapids.
Offensively, the Screws should actually be a little bit happy today. Of course, they couldn't catch up with the Rafters offense that scored 13 runs on 12 hits. But they should take pride in having a strong 3-run 7th inning, highlighted by the 2-run single from Brian Sturdivant. And they also had a decent outing from starting pitcher Tyler Venditti. But once again, the bullpen, who had a over 9 ERA entering tonight's game, really struggled. They had to use a lot of relievers, probably a reliever they weren't thinking in Simon Dembeck and Ross Thompson, who could be tomorrow's starter, just facing one batter. So Screws are looking for answers after dropping their 8th straight game.
Rivets will have to look for more answers against the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders at home. The Dock Spiders, the best team in the Wisconsin-Illinois East. They've clinched that division. They'll be headed to the playoffs as the Rivets and Booyah battle it out for the final spot in the Wisconsin-Illinois East. The totals tonight, first for the victorious Wisconsin Rapids Rafters, 13 runs on 12 hits and 1 error, and just 3 left on base. Really a remarkable offensive performance. As for Rockford, 3 runs on 6 hits and 1 error, along with 5 runners left on base. The pitchers of record, Nathan Hemmerling. A well-deserved victory for the right-hander for Wisconsin Rapids. He went 5 innings, surrendered just 2 hits, struck out 4, and walked 1. Did not allow a run. As for Rockford, picking up the loss is Tyler Venditti, who went 4 innings, surrendered 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Rivets will go back home to face the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders tomorrow night. It's fireworks night at Rivets Stadium. Rivets fans can get their tickets on rockfordrivets.com. Sure to be a good one against the division best Dock Spiders. As for the Rafters, they will head to La Crosse for 1 game and then come back home, a home-and-home series with the Loggers. Adam, any final thoughts from Whitterfield?
Larry, the Screws have their final 4 games at home this season. They'll try to turn things around. And we do have a playoff update as the La Crosse Loggers won 5-3 over the Green Bay Booyah. So with that victory, the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters have trimmed their magic number down to 3 in terms of home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And once again, the Rockford Rivets are just half a game behind the Booyah, meaning that if they have a victory and the Booyah lose, they will flip-flop and the Rivets will have a playoff spot.
Green Bay has now lost 6 in a row. How about timely losing streaks? So the Rivets still very much in it. So fans, don't tune out of this season just yet. We could have playoff baseball for the Rockford Rivets, but they got to get the job done at home against the Dock Spiders. Probably got to win at least 1. And then, after the 4-game homestand, the Rivets will head to CCU Park in Green Bay to finish the season with a 2-game series there. Boy, will that be fun. We will be there for both games. But for now, you can catch all 4 games of the homestand on online television, so to speak, on the Northwoods League Baseball Network. So, that about does it from Whitterfield in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. The Rivets drop their 8th straight ball game as they lose to the Rafters 13-4. For my partner Adam Cohen, I'm Larry Larson saying thank you for listening and good night from the heart of Wisconsin. We will talk to you tomorrow night on television. So long, everybody.